for the Buckeyes, sends out a formidable lineup leading off. Quietly one of the best catchers in the country, Matthew Gravelin.
He's going to be the designated hitter today, but there's a reason he's hitting in that leadoff spot. That position has changed over the years. This guy is a walking OBP beast. But that dude in that 2-hole, Tyler Petterini, has been a monster all season long. If you're looking for an X factor, though, how about the Gamecock transfer from South Carolina? Lee Ellis has been a guy that, when we talked with Coach Hare, this kid's got a really bright future.
So those players can hit. It's a matter of which Dominic Fritton they see opposing them on the mound for NC State. This is a guy who had such a fantastic freshman season. Jack, textbook sophomore slump a season ago. He's going to be a big part of what NC State's season ultimately is this year.
Yeah, but Darren, I think if you ask Coach Avent, like, he still was number one in this team in starts of the year. For a team that went to Omaha, may have slumped in comparison to his first-team All-American freshman year, but I thought he had a very steady, reliable season. I think he learned from a lot of really great veterans around him a year ago, and I mean, this is a young man that there's so much lofty goals and expectations. This year, let's see if he just goes back to having a lot of fun, and if he can still continuously be that really consistent southpaw on Friday nights, the Wolfpack are going to be great shape by the time they roll around for ACC play.
Second start of the season for Fritton. He went 4 1/3 and gave up a run on 3 hits, though the one run was unearned. But you're right, he pitched very well for them down the stretch, including in Omaha for the Wolfpack. At the home of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Our thanks to them, gracious hosts in the second year of this event. Stacked field as it was last year. You know, Jack, in this first game last year, it was a walk-off victory in extra innings for the eventual champions, the Virginia Cavaliers.
Well, let's live up to the hype in round 2, huh?
Why not?
Let's go. Let's see if Fritton warmed up right now, Virginia. To me, it's all about the 390s, Darren. When you looked at the numbers last week, Bonus still hit about 214 against him. That was kind of the song and dance last year for him. 2 walks, 2 high pitches last week. If he can limit those 390s and force guys to put the ball in play, kid's got nasty stuff. It's a 3 to 4 pitch mix. It'll show you a breaking ball every once in a while, but everything trying to split the plate. Down Fritton, it's simplistic as every pitching coach in the country. Doesn't matter if you're coaching middle schooler or big leaguers. Make the opposing team put the ball in play, and he's going to be in good shape today.
So this will be an interesting event. We talk about Ohio State still winless on the season, entering against this field, but it is a team that can hit really well. I think the question mark lies in their pitching staff. You agree?
Yeah, I look at that sweep of Arizona State, and college baseball fans across the country go, the boys are going to pop. And they hung around with the team that they think are a favorite in the Big 12 this season. Offensively, we're pretty sure that Justin Hare's got some big dudes. But again, a lot of question marks on the round. Let's see if they can answer them this week.
So up steps Matthew Gravelin. He hit 289 for them a season ago. Fritton off the mark with his first offering, 1-0. Caught on and missed. That'll even up the count. You mentioned Gravelin DHing today. Mason Eckelman gets the start behind the plate defensively for the Buckeyes.
That catcher position, they'll platoon all season between Gravelin and Eckelman, just not keeping those legs fresh. But it'll be important to keep a consistent face back there, I think, by the time they get to conference play for that staff.
So Fritton having some trouble finding the strike zone to his first batter faced.
Falling off on that left side. That fastball just hasn't been as sharp as it was that freshman year. That was kind of the storyline last year as well.
Oh, catches the corner of the strike zone. And it's a full count to Gravelin now. Swung on and missed. Fritton fights back and gets the first out of the first inning.
Love it. Just challenge him with a high heater. Don't overthink it. Rip it and rip it. you see oftentimes they'll throw that two-seam fastball, but you take another look at it, man, this is just a fastball challenge, a really good hitter at the top of the zone, and Fritton wins the battle.
So now it is the third baseman for Ohio State, the left-handed hitting Tyler Petterini, who watches strike one. Big start to the season for Petterini, 6 for 11 with a home run. Great location to make it 1-2.
This is where lefty-lefty is so dominant, especially in that freshman year. They used him in a lot of lefty-lefty spots. The conversation, I think, for all southpaws jumping into the box against Fritton is just going to be, hey, see as many pitches as possible and try to find a way to stay alive.
Wave and a miss with 2 strikes. Consecutive punch-outs to start the outing for Dom Fritton.
And again, allow it to get ahead. Don't mess around, man. That two-seam, that has enough dancing in the zone for him, man. Great work by Fritton. May have missed the spot, wants to challenge him up high in the zone again. And this is the conversation. Just try to stay alive if you're Petterini. He can't. That fastball, so much late life.
The shortstop, Mark Stevens, now the batter for the Buckeyes. And Fritton, man, he had Gravelin 3-1 to begin the game and has turned it on since then. Line drive gets over to Crisio at shortstop and into left field for the first base knock of the 2025 Jacks Classic. It belongs to Mark Stevens.
Love it. Get the foot down early. Let's party. I didn't think Mark Stevens had seen enough. That was 6 straight fastballs from Fritton, trying to get back in that count and then just allowed the damage against Petterini. Stevens says, hey, I see you. Great work on the scouting report. Places it out to left center.
Trey Lipsy next to the plate, the right fielder, another left-handed hitter. Fritton goes away from the fastball and gets immediately behind.
So you see, we talked about that fourth pitch. It's almost like a show-me 12-6 breaking ball. But with lefties in the box, you'll see him try to bite off a little bit of a sharper slider. He misses on that first pitch, but love that he's going to try to throw these guys in the heart of the order backwards.
Fastball that time to even it up. Over to first. No scare for Mark Stevens.
This Ohio State team, they haven't gotten the opportunity to run a ton this season. A couple dudes that can kind of boogie, but for Justin Hare and those that know him in the Big South, this identity will quickly change as a team that wants to run.
Got him off balance, and Fritton picks off Stevens on the second attempt to retire the side. Good start for the junior lefty. NC State's at play when we return.
Turner on his way to second. Called strike 3 on the inside. Orlo's well done. Super Regional on the way for NC State. The pack is back to Omaha. It's a dog pile in the infield at the home of the Dogs.
Well, you know who NC State was. You know now.
And he's going to watch. He's flying. He made it back. Close for 3. Strikeout.
The Jacks College Baseball Classic is presented by Peak Events, home of the best outside of Omaha. Follow at Peak DOT Events on social media to keep up with the best in early season college baseball. Bottom of the first we go. First chance at the plate for the NC State Wolfpack. It'll be Luke Nixon, Justin DeCrisio, and Alex Sosa. The 3 due up in this beginning frame.
there when you look at DeCrisio. Fair to say it's a pretty good start to the season. Not much of a math guy, but hitting .625 on the year. The 5 for 8 spectacular, but he's drawn 4 walks, an OBP of over 800. He's done a great job of filling into that 2-hole in a lineup. It's lost a lot of star power. DeCrisio feels like the next man up.
Drew Erdman gets the start for Ohio State. He's made a couple of relief appearances this season so far. 1 inning each of those, and one went far better than the other, right? Clean frame with a strikeout the first time around and 3 earned runs scored against him second.
Well, for Ohio State, they feel really confident in their Saturday night. Friday, it's almost been what we've seen at the major league level. It's almost been a starter, kind of a role play situation. It's an audition. And for Drew Erdman, who again making his 3rd appearance on the year, the Hudson, Ohio native, 6'4", 220, can't teach the build. But they believe with Coach Hare and his tutelage and the staff he brought over Campbell, that he can be a really formidable Friday night starter.
How do you like that methodology? He loves Chase Harrell in that Saturday role. For a team like this, like Ohio State, often you see TBD for Sundays. They're utilizing that, at least for now, on the beginning end of the weekend.
Well, if you're asking me if it'll work, college baseball fans remember that ho-hum team that won the national championship last year, Game 1, right? Tony Vitello and the Tennessee Volunteers. They went with the starter method with a guy like Chris Damos, then you go right into the pen. I think offensively it can make you a little uncomfortable.
Luke Nixon, the natural infielder who made his mark on this lineup for the Wolfpack as an outfielder when injury necessitated such last year. With a 1-1 count. Really found his way about midway through the season and his freshman campaign as he watches another 1-2.
There, and he's got some pretty decent family DNA on the diamond.
Yeah, son of the former big leaguer Trot Nixon.
And you know what they say: if the bat plays, we'll find a way somewhere in the field to play. And obviously, the kid uber talented with the leather. Sometimes it's a really difficult jump, but man, it didn't really matter where you put him on the field. This kid's athleticism spoke volumes just a season ago.
Backs it back, and we'll stay alive with a 2-2. Another foul ball out of play.
Erdman transfers in from Cincinnati. He took on a very similar role last year. 11 innings, only 14 innings pitched. 11 appearances, 14 innings pitched. This is with the slider in. It's really a 2-pitch mix there, and it's just going to be fastball slider. The fastball is a little bit of a cutter, so everything's going to run into lefties, away from righties. And again, when you're asked to start in these mounds, it kind of messes with your routine a bit, but Erdman looking to fill into the role nicely.
Nixon skies it on the full count pitch. Over to left field. Sun, not a problem for the sliding Nick Jamarusti.
Well, that's going to be a fun still for left fielders, I guess, throughout the weekend. Tough sun, shades on, no problem. An outs and out. We don't give them style points. I'm all good. Out number 1. We're ready to roll.
A little bit of a rock and roll slide for Jamarusti. We're down to both knees, right? That's what
I'm with Jimi Hendrix. I feel you. Is that when you close your eyes, is that who you're thinking of?
That's exactly who I was imagining.
Glad we're on the same page already. 1 inning in.
We're officially back. We're officially back. 0-1 pitch misses to Justin DeCrisio. Really intriguing opportunity for him in this lineup with NC State. You see him put in the 2 spot. Glove first shortstop. I mean, a platinum glove caliber infielder. Fouls it away and tumbles to ground. Looks to be all right. This is a spot also that, if you remember, Elliott Avent got in the portal and he went and got Brandon Butterworth for last season. And Butterworth was not as much a proven hitter as he was a defender previously in his career at Western Carolina. It's kind of the same thing for DeCrisio, but it feels like there's a little more upside with the bat.
Butterworth transferring from Western Carolina right down the road. This is a little bit of a longer recruiting trek. transferred in from San Diego. They made that deep run, playing against Oregon in that regional last year. This young man, to your point, with the leather, so impressive.
And there's a line shot out to left field. Jamarusti, though, tracks it back.
No style points needed today to Jack's Classic. 2 outs, make it look easy. His line driving stays unique to somebody. You talk about the blistering stuff from DeCrisio. Still another bear.
So now with 2 away and nobody on, it's Alex Sosa, who you see his average has struggled a bit to begin the season, but he's got 2 home runs and a double. So 3 of his 4 hits on the campaign are for extra bases.
In the country in his class, big thunderous left-hand bat.
Back into the protective netting, a 1-1. Leaves it foul.
So you just pitching him backwards as well. This is a kid that gets his best A-plus swing off every time. And again, I think that's what this hitting development team is trying to work on, cutting down on the swing and miss. He's coming off a ball game with 5 strikeouts. But Darren, we talked to him yesterday after BP. Confidence still skyrocketing. He said that was one of the biggest lessons he learned from a group like Makarevich and Pennington. And they were just such professionals that this year never really experienced failure. Now that I have, I've got a little bit of a baseline I can sink back to.
With 2 strikes, shoots it out into left, and that will be the first base hit for NC State. And on with 2 away after the single by Alex Sosa, who you mentioned the 5 strikeouts game. He also told us at practice last night he had never struck out 3 times in his career.
Yeah, here's the deal. I can really relate with him on that one. I've got plenty of hat tricks in my back pocket. But this is the approach, right? 2 strikes. We didn't necessarily see that big time A-plus hat. It just gets a little bit wider with the lower half, shortens the swing down. This is a beautiful backside single. And the young man where last year, he may have let a 5 strikeout game get to him. This season, this is a different dude.
Chris McHugh takes on the first offering from Erdman. McHugh, another intriguing transfer for NC State, making his way to the Wolfpack via VCU. Called strike, it's 1-1. It's an interesting transfer class for NC State, especially when compared to last year. They had those 5 outgoing players, including non-transfers Eli Serrano and Jacob Cozart, who moved on via the draft. But you could tell for the Wolfpack it was, let's bring in grad guys last year. They had so much of that valuable leadership from, you mentioned Alec Makarevich from East Carolina before NC State. Garrett Pennington, formerly with Wichita State prior to 1 year with the Wolfpack. Oh, McHugh is an excuse me swing. Erdman, bare hands, makes the throw over to first, and that retires the side. That was off the knob of the bat.
We're so back.
What a start. No score through 1 in Jacksonville. The Jax College Baseball Classic is brought to you by D1Baseball.com. No one covers college baseball like D1 Baseball, covering every game from coast to coast. D1 Baseball is the resource no college baseball fan can be without. Well, we're through an inning officially at the 2025 Jax Classic. Jack DeLongchamp, Darren Vaught, happy to have you with us. Happy to be here, really.
See that for those flags? I mean, they write 100 music songs about beautiful days like this, but what you don't see, palm trees, yes, cold weather, wind howling in, a pitcher's dream, a hitter's nightmare. I know last year, guys had some bombs for these broadcasts. It's going to take some pretty strong beats to lead the argument.
Yeah, today at the very least. We'll see how it manifests itself and continues on throughout the weekend. Wind whipping. I was told by some team officials for the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, who normally play here, AAA affiliate of the Miami Marlins, that on cold days, the wind blows in, whereas if it's warm, the wind is typically blowing out. So that you can see that's coming right toward us.
Give your best meteorologist here. Winds up to 12 miles per hour, gust 18.
Okay.
A low 3-iron type of day for hitters if they want to get out of here.
Well, Trey Lipsy leads off the top of the second inning for Ohio State. He was at the plate at the conclusion of the top of the first when his teammate Mark Stevens got picked off at first. One and one. That is what the count was. When the first time Lipsy was up, he had to go back and get ready to play defense.
Defensive player at the beginning of his career, didn't make a single error his freshman season. Aaron, that was part of that all Big Ten freshman season he put together, and kind of like we talked about with Fritton, that sophomore slump kicked in. And last year bounced back. He's one of those few guys across the entire country, a rarity, a unicorn, if you will. All 4 seasons as a Buckeye, right? So he was so crucial for Justin Hare in this first season to help kind of lay out what it means to play Ohio State baseball.
Lays off outside, 3 balls and 1 strike. So that's consecutive frames for Dom Fritton. He started 3-1 to the leadoff batter.
A 2-1 breaking ball there. Let's see if he follows a similar pattern, get back to that heater.
That was 6 straight after that in the first. Sails it high of the strike zone, and it's ball 4. Leadoff man is aboard as Trey Lipsy walks for Ohio State.
Leadoff walks kill you, and we talked about the free passes for Fritton. They're able to go a clean slate in that first, but already pick off the 10th. Let's see if Ohio State maybe tries to get aggressive on the base path. Lipsy's 2 for 2 on season in that category.
Here's Lee Ellis. Takes the first offering. 1-0 to the former Gamecock of South Carolina. Fritton off the mark again, 2-0.
You see sometimes he kind of wraps that fastball, kind of handcuffs those on the inner half of the plate, unable to get around it. It's not a true punter. Your back man at home will tell you that it is, but it's just a fastball where he almost falls off on that right side and just cuts it into the hands of a righty.
Favorable count for Ellis. Thought about going for that one up above the letters.
I think, too, a conversation. So we talked about such a highly recruited kid behind the plate, but not having Cozart back there is going to be an adjustment for this NC State staff this year. He was one of the best defensive catchers in the country.
Ellis pulls away the bunt. He was not serious about that with a 3-0. Fritton finds the strike zone. Yeah, Cozart widely regarded as one of the best pitch framers in college baseball, maybe the best.
I think that's fair to say. I know the numbers say that he was, I think, top 5 in runners gunned out. He was so good at controlling the run game for opposing teams, but it was the stuff that he did behind the scenes. Not to say that L.A. David doesn't trust a lot of his catchers, but this is a program that's produced some of the best in our sport, and Cozart right up there with him. The way that he studied the game and saw it at such an elite level. Next factor.
Called strike on the inside. Ellis thought he had ball 4. Instead, he's going to have to prepare for a full count pitch.
I'm Fritton. I'm not messing around. I'll see if he goes right back to that fastball, challenges him at the top of the zone like he did in that top half.
The 3-2. Again high, although it was the fastball. Consecutive walks, and there are runners at first and second. Not a lot you can do to frame a pitch when Britton leaves it up there, right? I mean, I was just about, prior to that pitch, in all seriousness, I was going to say, Britton's got some on the margins already in this one, and there's been growth evidently for Sosa in that regard.
2 early walks we talked about, wanting to give up those free passes, and I love the conversation from Sosa here. The umpire today representing the SEC out having a conversation. This looks maybe to be more than just a conversation between pitcher and catcher. That battery duo looks like they're going to bring out Elliott Avent. We'll talk with his southpaw. Didn't see anything that indicated injury, did you?
Not that I could tell.
Maybe a pitch count conversation, or
typically, though, with that, you can see some pointing at the.
Well, here comes the athletic training staff for NC State, and sometimes when it didn't look like he was grabbing that arm, maybe it's a situation with blister. It's a cold day here at Jacksonville. Temperature's right around 48, but it feels like 39 because of that wind. Looks like to me he's grabbing a potential blister as well. That would indicate a high fastball as well, like unable to get a really strong grip and get down into the zone.
Britton's going to try to see if he can work through it. That was Cooper Consiglio that was trotting over to the bullpen for NC State. I mean, this early in a game, I'm sure Elliott Avent would prefer not to burn one of his best relievers.
Such a luxury to have a guy like Consiglio, though. He's shown he can go the distance, eating up 4 or 5 innings at a time. But to your point, with a slate this loaded, man, you'd love to have that nasty dude 2-way deep in the tournament.
Mason Eckelman shows as if maybe he's going to try to sacrifice the runners over.
This feels like a take to a strike situation with his ability to not find the zone right now. If I'm Eckelman, I got to see one in the zone.
Pulls the bunt away, and there is the strike.
Now it's about doing a job for your team. A true sacrifice spot. Coach Hare told us, hey, this might be our most slept-on guy. 2 for 11 start out in Arizona last week, but he said this kid found so many barrels just right at defenders.
It's the bunt down the third base line. Beautifully placed. No throw. It's a hit, and the bases are loaded with no outs.
I mean, hey, is this not a catcher handling mistake? I mean, he places this thing perfectly down the line. But I got to be honest with you, Darren, a little bit surprised that Ryan Jaros on the third base side, it looks like this is going to hit the lip, and it's got a true chance to go foul. The way that ball's angling towards foul territory, not sure if the communication was loud enough down on the field, but Ohio State may have gotten away with it, especially with how perfect the bunt that is.
Well,
not getting the left out of the box.
Like you said, it had rolled off the lip of the grass, and at that point, Eckelman's at first anyway. So what harm does it do if you just let it roll out?
Now the Pack going to have to limit some damage.
No outs, bags full. Nick Jamarusti, the batter. Inside corner, Britton gets the strike to even it up 1-1. Jamarusti 4 for 9 on the young season. Couple of doubles included in that. And Britton off the mark.
NC State showing the corners in right now, looking to maybe cut it off. Turn to the old-fashioned way.
Another called strike, again on the inside. I mean, when Fritton's been on, he's right on the edges today.
Yeah, and two, that fastball at 90 to 93, depending how good he's feeling going into a start, man. That inside here, though, when he places it perfectly, because of that arm side run, man, it feels more like 95.
Bounced over to Jaros at third. It gets away from Sosa. A run scores. Here comes another on the way. The slide is safe as Lee Ellis makes it 2-0.
Ellis slow to his feet, but the aggressiveness never putting on the brakes. Catches Sosa and Fritton sleeping a bit as he's able to get that left hand extended, pushing the lead out to 2. But at what cost? I mean, hey, they make the right play. Chara comes up, delivers a perfect strike just right off the tip of the glove from Sosa. He really doesn't catch him sleeping. Just look like Lee Ellis, who it kind of looks like, based off that replay, Darren, I don't want to assume injury, but it almost looks like he knocks the wind out of himself, rolling over the bat as he crashes into home. But fire me up with the base runner. That's a Justin Hairball club, right? Hey, doesn't that have mid-major written all over it? Like, hey, we're going to just play crazy into the wall as Lee Ellis able to get off the field under his own power and Buckeyes with a 2-run lead.
So officially it's deemed a throwing error from third base. Another look. And Ellis, that wasn't the bat. That was the left leg of the home plate umpire. That is an interesting play that just get, I mean, by the book by Chris Tipton, who's the official back there, because you got to be on top enough to be able to see the results. It stepped right out in front of Lee Ellis. Wow.
We've already had a pickoff, a 1-3 put out off of the end of the bat, and now a young man knocking the wind out of himself, running into the umpire. Got everything so far, folks.
8th spot in the order is Will Carpenter. Fritton with a move to first. And Jamarusti back.
Important to note, too, there's a reason Fritton's got his eyes over there. Jamarusti 5 for 5 on the season in stolen base, man. This kid can run.
Carpenter squares and pulls it away. I think Ohio State is willing to bet that Fritton can't throw them enough strikes to keep them in check right now.
Hey, it's an interesting approach, right? You're almost take a strike against one of the better arms in the entire ACC, but right now this is exactly what he's shown you. Very balanced, very disciplined. I told you, this is an Ohio State team that went and put up some runs out in Arizona last week.
Carpenter pulls it away. The count goes to 2-1. 9th in the order, waiting in the on-deck circle is center fielder Reggie Bussey. And still no outs. Ricochet off the bat of Carpenter. So now it's 2-2.
Interesting move. It's the first start of the season. Carpenter, guy that only appeared in 3 games just a year ago in his first season on campus, junior college kid. I get you not wanting to hit no double play ball and kind of remove a lot of that momentum, but I'd love to see him put a ball in play, try to score a runner.
Where's the bunt on 2-2? It's in the dirt, full count. A few too many of these for Fritton so far in this game.
Said, hey, I want to see him put the ball in play. We're going to bump with 2 strikes. My bad, Coach Hare. The guy's done a lot of winning. I'll let you do the coaching.
Carpenter pushes the bunt. Fritton makes an accurate throw to first to record the first out, but it brings in another Buckeyes run. It's 3-0.
Baseball stuff. Full count, first and third, nobody out. Your 8-hole. Guy who's making his first career start as a Buckeye. Sure. An RBI, sack, bunt, little safety edition. Coach Hare, man, we told you. The storyline that we'll talk about all weekend. What he has built at Campbell over the last decade in the Big South speaks volumes. Now in his first year at Ohio State, hey, jump to the big name brand. Looks like he's going to play the same style of baseball he always has.
Bussey, the batter for Ohio State now, has a 1-0 count. Bussey blasts it up into the air, right field. Josh Hogue is there. That's the second way. Runner comes from a second to third. Jamarusi now 90 feet away from scoring for Ohio State.
We gotta have a conversation about this one. That ball's tagged. That ball was hit a lot harder than it looked like at home. I'm just telling you that. Bussey transferring from Oakland. It's a fastball. Elevates just a bit. You can see that backside. back shoulder tilt. That ball's punished a little bit. Runner rolled fans, 2 outs. The Buckeyes still cooking.
So back to the top of the order. Matthew Gravelin struck out his first time facing Fritton. Has to scoot out of the way of the first.
Back to the heater. Then we were watching BP last night. It looked like Gravin was making almost too much of an emphasis to try to go the other way. I want to see him free up those hands and let it eat a little bit.
Fights it off and sends it back into the backstop to make it 1-2.
Sometimes with talented hitters like this, you almost want to get out of their head. Like the overanalysis and swing. This stage of the season, it's like, hey, let's go play. There's a reason you're hitting high in the order. Really talented kid last night. See him getting tied up a little bit.
Fritton again with 2 strikes. Gets a strike 3 call and gets out of the second frame. Something that when he visited for injury, we didn't think would happen. 3 Ohio State runs score though.
Hi, I'm Bob, or Breakfast on a Bun. I answer to both. My brother, Bob Ranchero. Hey, he's always been the wild one. They're actually twins. Same signature sausage, fresh egg, and melty cheese. But that picante salsa and pickled jalapenos, it changes you. We're so close. He does call me regular Bob, though, which is a little hurtful.
You can stay up to date with the Jax College Baseball Classic all year round by following on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, now X, at JaxCBC on all social media platforms. Team comparison brought to you by Alabama Online. These are numbers, of course, heading into this game. The Wolfpack 3-1. They dropped that home game against the Liberty Flames earlier this week. Both teams, I think, that have the ability to be very imposing offensively. For Ohio State, you see that 10-plus opening weekend ERA. That, of course, assumedly will come down. It's a matter of how much over the span of the season.
I think, too, look at that ERA for NC State. It might be the best bullpen in college baseball. I know I over-exaggerate quite often, but with 2 preseason All-Americans, are you kidding me? That's going to be a strength of theirs as that building. Strength here in Duval.
Everbank Stadium, home of the NFL's Jacksonville Jaguars. What a great setup here. It reminds you of, it's a very pro sports town. I know Jacksonville doesn't have the smattering of major league teams that other towns do, but don't you just love when all the facilities are right there in one spot, right? That's it. There's a parking lot in between Everbank and VyStar Ballpark here where we are. I mean, that's awesome. We could walk over there if the Jags played later today.
I'm not saying that it looked like a Sunday tailgate in Duval, but Buckeye Nation in Columbus traveled well. I saw some tailgaters already getting after it this morning. Talked about the bridge kind of connecting parking lot to football stadium right here. A beautiful venue in Jacksonville Bush.
1-1 count to Josh Hogue. This is his first plate appearance of the day. Hogue missed the second half of the season last year due to injury. But prior to that, man, he was a huge piece of this lineup. Was up in the leadoff spot for most of it.
You mentioned Eli Serrano and Hogue kind of going back and forth, platooning out of that leadoff spot. Serrano a little bit longer, wiry kid, but it's 6'2", 192. Hogue, man, great baseball frame, good IQ.
Swings through it. He's got a full count now. So it's Hogue, Braden Fraisman, the JUCO transfer in left field, and then Matt Austinfort, another transfer as the designated hitter. Hogue skies it, shallow right. Racing in is Lipsy Ellis out from second, calls and makes the grab.
See some giggling between Lipsy and Ellis. Ellis calling him off at the last second. I think that had something to do with what we saw practice like yesterday. A lot of fly ball comp for this Buckeye squad who's still feeling each other out after that Arizona State series. A lot of fresh faces. Love to see the second baseman take command. That kid that's played all across the infield. Nice play by Ellis.
Oh, and 1 the count. Now to Braden Fraseman. Seven for 17 at the plate through the first 4 games of the season for the Wolfpack. Swung on and missed, 2-2. Bounced over the plate. Easy take for Fraseman, the Ohio native, playing the Buckeyes of his home state, Ohio State.
Fraseman's a little 880 on the season. That's a team high. To a great start. Just trying to find a way to get on.
Liner, maybe hanging up a little too much in left. It's caught by Jamarusti, who's had his work cut out for him out there.
Say, that makes it feel well over Hundo. He's kind of just out there, top ball in the brim. Let's stay calm, quiet with lower half. He's looking like his best DB over at the Jaguar Stadium. Able to pull that bad boy in.
So Erdman has had full counts to the first 2 batters of this frame, but recorded the outs. Austin Ford off the handle, pops it up, left side of the infield. Pederini in foul ground, makes the catch, and it's a 3-up, 3-down side after Ohio State's at a 3-0 lead. There's a look at the Jumbo Shrimp. Fantastic logo in terms of the upper echelon of minor league brands. With the home of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, AAA affiliate of the Miami Marlins for the Jax Classic.
Darren, there's no way I don't buy a hat. There's just no way. The Marlins, you can have my $35. There's no way I don't go home with a hat today.
Beautiful scenes from up here, too. You got the bridge there in the backdrop. Overlook the construction. By the way, they're working on some cool features there in right field here for by the time opening day happens for the Jumbo Shrimp. So still about a month and a half before that gets started. Easy to overlook with how great everything else is.
But I got to tell you, we're going to break this down. No, you had a lot of home runs right center field, Aaron, last year with you and obviously Kyle Pearson on the call. This year, we've already been thinking of our scaffolding and our building permit puns for any home runs that are in that direction. Don't think that opening day isn't right around the corner. We've still got gentlemen with hard hats on, not only just obviously playing by regulations, making sure that this place is absolutely pristine come April 1, but we got some heavy hitters in that left-handed batter's box. I'd be careful out there, too.
Our first up here in the top of the 3rd inning fits that description. Tyler Pederini, left-handed hitting bopper. He can do it. Struck out his first time up against Dominic Fritton in the lefty-lefty matchup, and there's Fritton catching the outside corner for strike 1. Three runs the last time up for Ohio State. Raker misses outside, 1-1. Depending on how this goes for Dom Fritton, it feels like a big deal that he got out of that last side. Even after the 3 runs scored, they went out and checked on him, maybe a blister or something on one of his fingers. It's a called strike to make it 2-2. If that visit can kind of steady him, and he can get a little bit more length out of this outing, that could be big for the Wolfpack. Drilled right back up the middle. Pederini reaches base safely. Second consecutive leadoff man to reach for Ohio State.
Well, we'll talk about Fritton some more, but let's brag on the lefty senior, man. Again, another guy that spent all 4 years on campus. Cuts down on the swing, a little bit wider with the lower half. See how quiet those hands were, though. Pederini, a fun name to say, but an even prettier swing to watch. This has been a kid that has just gotten better every year on campus. 20 starts his freshman campaign, hit 220, 319 as a sophomore, 308 last year. He might be the most consistent bat for Justin Hare in this lineup.
Over the top breaking ball misses up and in to Mark Stevens. You mentioned his quiet hands at the plate. I feel like I can't say his name with quieter hands, right? I gotta hold him up here. Pederini. Move over to first. Pederini just back.
Keeping a close eye. I want to go back to your point about, we talked about this NC State bullpen, how deep they are. There's still not that many bullpens in the country that can withhold a Friday guy going down as early as he would have. So despite what the scoreboard says, man, these are next 3 to 4 innings. If Fritton can get you, I know we went 4 1/3 last Friday night, and you're always so curious this early on in the season what pitch count and bandwidth looks like. But if he can bully his way into a quality start, massive for Coach Avent and company.
Top shelf, a good take by Stevens. That, by the way, was pitch number 53 of the outing for Fritton.
Gotta imagine nothing more than 85 to 90 this early in the season.
2-1, offered at, and Stevens can't connect.
It's not necessarily an overpowering fastball, but when you see guys go big swing and miss, it's his ability to locate set here. That's where it just felt like his freshman year. He didn't miss a shot all season. Last year when he got into trouble, it's when that fastball was in and out of the zone.
Here's the 2-2. Swung on and missed. Another strikeout for Dom Fritton. All 4 of his punch-outs have been to one of the first 3 batters in the Ohio State order.
And I might add, all 4 strikeouts coming off the fastball, right? Because he's able to locate it in, out, up, down. I know Mythbusters said it's not true, but that rising fastball that feels like it's getting on as a hitter is so effective. Uh-oh.
Throws behind the runner. Pederini caught in a chin and is tossed out at second base.
I might go to the top of 4 games in. Now Fritz picked off 2 guys in the span of 3 innings. Are we willing to say it's the best pickoff move in baseball? Some Andy Pettis type stuff. He's got the Buckeyes leaning over there.
And that'll do yourself a lot of favors if you're struggling to throw strikes.
3 outs.
So now you got 2 away, nobody on. But a 1-0 count to Trey Lipsy. Walked his last time up. That led off the second inning, so he came in eventually to score the first of those 3 runs. And now 3-0.
Pitch at bat in his last one. It's really selective. Be shocked if he had the green light in the 3-0 spot, especially with their offensive identity.
Leaves it up top, and it is a 4-pitch walk. Lipsy reaches for the second time in his mid-plate appearances on a free pass.
It's been interesting. We talked about Fritton's success against lefties, but it almost feels like that's where he struggled most today. Now walking Trey Lipsy twice. It's almost, obviously when he's missed, I'm not sure if it's that front side line open or if maybe that blister is just getting bigger and bigger by the pitch. But I've noticed that a lot of the misses today, especially with that old heater, have been against lefties in the batter's box.
Lee Ellis also walked his first time up. Fritton delivers a strike to even it up 1-1. Lipsy all over the move that time. Knew it was coming.
Once, not twice. Lead over at first base for the Buckeyes just getting smaller and smaller. I think with Petterini, though, they were going first movement, right, with a lefty on the mound. You can even go when that front foot lands, or that first movement and he just gets caught playing chess, not checkers.
Lipsy has to get dirty this time. Maybe trying to reestablish a more conventional lead. Two balls and one strike now to Lee Ellis.
Yeah, pour on Ellis pretty clean. I've seen 11 pitches so far. They're all heaters, challenging the former South Carolina Gamecock.
2-1, swung on and missed. There was that fictional ride, verticality to it.
Non-fiction, man. I've been in that box, terrified it's coming. But that again, it's just because his ability to locate looks like a beach ball, gets on you so late. Not the craziest velo, but it's a heavy fastball with high spin rate.
2-2, nicked back, and Ellis hangs in there.
Get another heater, not messing around, even count. Dangerous decision too. He's such a quick twitch athlete. He also was the #1 player coming out of high school in the state of Maryland. So rich in baseball talent. A really talented kid looking to fall back in love with the game after a year in the SEC. A great start. Coach Hare so excited about his future.
And now a full count. They're back at the runner Lipsy, who gets back to the bag at first. He was trying to get a dirt read, but it was such a great stop by Sosa behind the plate.
Not only to keep it in front, but to keep it within the vicinity, grab, make a big throw. Talked about Cozart, who was able to block off a knee, off of a runner, stone stance. Man, Alex Sosa, next one up.
Sent way up into the air and left. Frazeman, with his first crack at fighting the sun, catches it with ease, and it retires the side and strand. The base runner for Ohio State. Still Buckeyes by 3 in Jacksonville. The Jacks College Baseball Classic is a proud supporter of the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. Scan the QR code on your screen or visit jackscollegebaseballclassic.com and make a donation to help us add tomorrows to those living with the disease. To the bottom of the third we go. NC State back to the plate, trailing by 3. Ohio State in search of their first win of the season in our first game of 2025 Jacks College Baseball Classic.
Darren, they're off to a great start off the back of Drew Urban after completing that second inning. That's the longest career outing in the collegiate career of Urban. Told you, an Ohio native. Started his career at Cincinnati, where he made 11 appearances, striking out 16 and 14 innings pitched. Again, a youngster. This is still a youngster, despite what that sweet chin piece sound tells you. For me, Urban, that was a massive inning, right? You get that crooked 3-run spot in, but many think might be the favorite not only in this game, but maybe in a whole Jacks Classic. So for Urban to go out, he goes 3-2, 3-2, and he's just throwing at bats right now. He's not trying to get too cute. He's allowing that slider with not to say minimal movement, but just enough to miss barrels. But right now, the fastball's really stood out to me. Obviously, with placement, 92 to 93. He's been really efficient with being able to keep NC State off balance. But more importantly, you always want to win the zero battle. You go get a cricket number. It's so important to contain momentum in that dugout by being able to go and throw a zero. It's exactly what he did in the bottom half of the second.
He's got 8-9-1 in the order, beginning with true freshman Ty Head, the center fielder This is a talent that the NC State coaching staff raves about. They think the world of the possibilities for Ty Head. Obviously is indicated by him getting starts as a true freshman, and the numbers have paid off, especially early. That is a line shot curling in foul territory. Almost got our first of the Jacks Classic, and, well, even though it would have been down the line and right, short porch unnecessary. That would have cleared the construction.
Yeah, well, the Pumps right themselves. Heads up, construction, guys. Just a freshman getting this much action. This is old man's game. A lot of transport guys. Think about NC State a season ago. 24 and 25-year-old guys in it. It's fairly remarkable that this young man has not only gotten the nod, but delivered.
Already 8 walks on the season. 2-2, head out in front, and it popped out of Eckelman's mid, so he stays alive at 2-2.
Just kind of an excuse me to swing to stay alive. That's kind of the approach where it's like, hey, I can't hit this fastball, but I know I'm going down looking, obviously sitting on the off speed. Just does enough to stay alive.
Hard bouncer. Ellis gloves at second. The underhand toss retires Head for one away.
Right now, the pitch count slowly creeping for Drew Erdman. I've been impressed with his fight when he's got kind of stuck in those full count spots. He goes in a routine spinner, Head just rolls over on him.
That was pitch number 41 for Erdman as he faces his first Wolfpack batter that he hasn't seen, or the only left that he hasn't seen. First appearance for Ryan Jaros at the plate. Talk about the transfer game of the Wolfpack. Jaros formerly of ACC foe Georgia Tech. And a quick 3-0.
Kudos to the NC State weight room training squad. 6'4", 210, a big physical beast.
Ball 4, he walks to put just the second Wolfpack runner on the base path today.
A heater inside, great approach. He's such a big kid that you know that he wants to kind of make his presence felt early amongst his teammates. Just taking your walks, man, sign of maturity, looking to cut down on some of those strikeouts. That's already his 4th walk of the season. He hasn't K'd yet.
Back to the top of the order in Luke Nixon. Try to bunt, send it back into the backstop. And he's got 0-1. Nixon has seen most pitches through one plate appearance of any Wolfpack batter today. It took 8 pitches for Erdman to get him to hit that fly ball to left to start the game in the bottom of the first. First time since the first inning that Drew Erdman has had to deal with a base run.
Nixon, not an easy double play candidate, but I'd love to see him slider that backs up on him a little bit. Let's see if he can induce a ground ball on that right side.
Laid out of play by Nixon. The foul ball makes it 1-2.
Fair to say over the right side too, because Nixon's such a talented hitter where he uses truly all 3 sides of the field. That, you know, if he can throw a really good breaking ball on that back foot, try to entice him to hit that little 7-iron golf shot out on the right, might have enough depth to get that ground ball.
Erdman spins and throws to first. Erdman, another pickoff attempt that goes awry. Jaros up easy at second. There's a runner in scoring position for Nixon now.
Jaros, not a guy that's really known for his legs, but in the new world of college baseball with obviously the pitch clock, you'll see a lot of pitching staff utilize the pickoff as just a way to reset the guy on the mound. Maybe they go to a different pitch sequence and they just use it to reset that pitch clock. This time it burns the Buckeyes.
Erdman now refocuses on Nixon. A 1-2 makes it a 2-ball, 2-strike count. So another look at the pickoff move gone wrong. And just sailed it away from Carpenter, the first baseman. Easy decision for Jaros to then take off. 2-2. Lifted down the line in right, and it's out of play.
See all the fans from Columbus hiding out in the very small sliver of sun. They see all the palm trees going, I thought we were escaping the snow, not chasing more cold weather.
I think you got accused of the same mindset when we went down and saw Elliot Avent at their practice yesterday. Looked at your feet, you were wearing flip-flops.
I bought in on the business casual. We were business up top, but if you thought I wasn't going to use the excuse of coming down to the beach and rocking my flip-flops, you're crazy. And I was successful. All 4 teams, all 4 Austin head coaches looked at me like I was nuts.
Full count with 1 away, runner at second. Ball 4 on the 7th pitch that Luke Nixon has seen that plate appearance. So through 2 plate appearances, he's 0 for 1, but he reaches here. He has seen 15 of Drew Erdman's 46 pitches.
He's just got big league pedigree. The way that he goes about his business, the way that he gets his early work done, whether it be at second, third, or left or right. And then when he gets in the box, he doesn't get too big. Fastball in, I'm going to turn on it. Slide it away, I'll spoil. Great job of just working a count, find a way to extend it.
Here's Tyler Robinson, pitching coach at Ohio State. He was with head coach Justin Hare at Campbell. It was a big part of their success. Some high draft picks produced by the Camels program out of Bowie's Creek, North Carolina.
He was a staple, right, in Dunn, North Carolina. And actually 9 seasons with Justin Hare. Last year he goes, all right, I'm going to go East, different conference. He goes and hangs out up in Liberty, Virginia with the Flames. And when Justin Hare got the call to head up to Columbus, this was his first call. And the way that this guy develops young pitching, you remember some of those graphics in college baseball social media? There were like multiple Camels throwing like 95 plus. You're looking at the architect.
That's Hunter Shaw getting loose in the Ohio State bullpen, a left-hander. As now the first pitch in the dirt to Justin DeCrisio, who hit a fly ball his first time up to left field. DeCrisio unleashes on one, high and deep, left field. It's gone! The Wolfpack shortstop evens it up with a 3-run blast.
Brand new ball game. Talk about a blistering start plate. DeCrisio, his first homer of the season. RBIs 3, 4, and 5. Coming at a crucial time. Hands stay stacked on the backside. Get the foot down early. Wolfpack Nation, let's elevate and celebrate.
Had some timely spots for the Toreros when he was at San Diego, right? Some clutch home runs in his time there. That's the question. You know he's going to play great defense. Can you increase the numbers and the pop at the plate? That's a big start in this second weekend of the season.
Well, we talked with Coach Avent yesterday. He told us, hey, there's no Pennington and Buttersworth and McElravich. Some big shoes to fill over at third base with Amac getting drafted by the Chicago White Sox. Had a huge run in Omaha. Come on, DeCrisio said, hey, you guys don't know. The West Coast exposure, it's coming. We play a little ball, too. And he has been everything and more so far, hitting in that 2-hole for Avent in the back.
Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Alex Sosa, who was a late call to USA Baseball's collegiate national team over the summer. He had been named an alternate and was aware of that. Got a call late in the stint for Team USA as he looks at strike 3. That's out number 2. got a chance to ask him about it on field yesterday during their practice. He said he was out on the golf course when he got the call. He and some buddies were fishing out of a pond on a golf course.
I said I went hook, line, and sinker. I go, how's the golf swing? He goes, terrible. That's why I was fishing. I go, okay, never mind. Baseball swing good. Golf, no good.
It's now 1 for 2. Chris McHugh, the new batter for NC State, rolls over on a foul. And has an 0-1 count. Out of play, 0-2. I'm still thinking about DeCrisio with that home run. That we were told earlier today, that's going to be the toughest part of the yard to lead with the wind.
I told you. Look at the flag right now. Look at an 18-mile-per-hour winds coming directly in from that direction. DeCrisio said, watch this. You ever seen a 3-iron burner out on the golf course? How about with a bat in your hands?
0-2 swing. It's a one-hop to short. Teams the throw. Not in time. McHugh runs it out and keeps the frame alive for the Wolfpack.
Love that. The big fella, just sophomore. You mentioned a transfer in from ECU, playing with that mid-major chip on his shoulder. Gets jammed with a really nice fastball, but hey, no panic, no fear. Let's get down the line, play the game the right way. He's going to be rewarded with a free 90.
Tyler Robinson back out to the mound for Ohio State. It looks like Drew Erdman's day is done. It'll be the left-hander, Hunter Shaw, to come in for the Buckeyes, and he will inherit a runner at first base after the infield single from McHugh. Josh Hogue, the next up for NC State.
Erdman, look, not quite close. We talked about it. It was a career-long outing. 2 innings, really clean, threw up a 0 in the second, just ran into a little bit of trouble. And it's that second time he went. I think that he's going to learn, going from, obviously, Cincinnati playing the Big 12 last year, but if he wants to be a true dominant starter over the weekends, learning to utilize not just that second pitch, but a third, right? The secondary pitch almost becomes primary that second time through the line. Because really good rosters, they'll burn you once they start to pick up on tendencies. That's exactly what happened here at the bottom of the end.
Shaw with 3 innings under his belt so far this season. He's given up 3 runs on 3 hits, struck out 3. Saddled with a loss in Arizona last weekend as part of that.
As a kid, you may have said Ohio State Scholar Athlete of the Year last year. Really brilliant kid in the classroom. And talk about some dude. There's Derek Smith looking on as Hunter Shaw is getting ready to roll. Made 17 appearances last year, including 3 starts on the mound. Struck out 24 and 28 in the third. But looking through the bio of the Ohio State communications team, letting us know this is the junior college Division II pitcher of the year his freshman year. He's a kid that has thrown in a lot of versatile roles. We've seen him lefty early on in his career. He's earned some time, and I think in this situation, man, it'd be huge for Coach Hare and Coach Robinson. If he could eat up the middle half of this game, he'd go get 4, 5, and 6, man. That'd be a big boost for the Buckeyes.
Game 1 of the Jackson College Baseball Classic, Ohio State and number 12 NC State. The other 2 teams in the field, Coastal Carolina and Alabama, square off. After this one, 2 games a day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Everybody plays each other. We're back underway. Josh Hogue, a swing and a miss of Shaw's first offering. Pop up. Lee Ellis at second base, his first time up. So back and it's 0-2.
Lefty slider your way ahead of the count, trying to get him to chase.
It's a swing and a miss. 3 pitches and a punch out of Hogue. That's quite the start before Shaw retires to side and strands a whoopee on base path.
Hi, I'm Bob, or breakfast on a bun. I answer to both. My brother, Bob Ranchero. Hey, he's always been the wild one. We're actually twins. Same signature sausage, fresh egg, and melty cheese. But that picante sauce and pickled jalapenos, it changes you. We're so close. He does call me regular Bob, though, which is a little hurtful.
The Jacks College Baseball Classic is presented by Peak Events, home of the best outside of Omaha. Follow at Peak DOT Events on social media to keep up with the best in early season college baseball. To the fourth inning we go. We got ourselves a ball game. All between Ohio State and number 12 NC State. The first 3 frames, it was 3-0 Ohio State via small ball. And then Justin DeCrisio, the shortstop for the NC State Wolfpack, gave us our first Duval long ball of the weekend.
Duval! I thought you were going to do it.
That's not my bag. Well, I don't know. Maybe it is. We'll find out.
6 games.
It's going to be a long 3.
It's going to be deep in your bag.
Dom Fritton back out for the 4th for NC State. He has tossed 69 pitches. So his next will be his 70th.
This feels like, we talked about that crooked number that Ohio State posted. Now Fritton go out and go get a big-time 0. Keep momentum in that dugout, get his offense back out on the field. Try to go get a couple runners against Hunter Shaw. Curious, we'll keep an eye on the health of whether it was a blister or whatever Fritton was working on early, but his reemergence out of that dugout, huge for the Pack.
6, 7, 8 in order for the Buckeyes. 1-0 count to Mason Eckelman, who had that bunt single his first time at the plate. Weak dribbler to second base. Nixon the underhand toss, and that's the first away.
Eckelman getting down the line, making it a difficult bang-bang play from Nixon. But like we said, it doesn't matter really where you play Nixon. He feels like one of those dudes that you can play all 9 positions in one game and feel pretty comfortable about it. Not sure what he looked like on the rubber, but I got all my trust in Agent Zero.
Nick Jamarusti, the leader in the clubhouse for my favorite name to say this weekend, takes to a 1-0 count. Reached on error his last time up. And there's a strike on the inside edge for Dom Fritton.
I'll tell you this, he might have my favorite stance so far. I don't know if you guys follow the batting stance guy on social media. He's playing the violin almost like an old school Cal Ripken for us.
Good take inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. There's quite the array of stances for this Ohio State team.
Yeah. Every at-bat's a snowflake. Everyone rocking something different. I'm going to go ahead and check violin like Ripken. But he does kind of look like maybe an old school Atlanta Brave and Houston Astros. You see a little Evan Gattis for me?
Yeah, okay.
When he digs in.
He's got to lose the batting gloves for that.
I'll lose the batting gloves. El Oso Blanco, they called him in Houston.
The 2-2 is shot up into the air into right field. Hogue prances underneath, and that is the second down.
El Oso Blanco, the polar bear. But I'm giving the forearms of Jimmy Lucy a run for his money, though, man. It's underneath that fly ball, but during BP, man, he put on a show. Especially when we're talking with Coach Hare, they're so disciplined during their BP rounds. Like, first 4, everything was backside. We watched Jim Marucci launch a couple balls into the scaffolding yesterday evening.
Will Carpenter watchfully takes the first pitch from Fritton. The sack bunt his first time up, so still no official plate appearance. Great eye, 2-0. Fritton all around the strike zone as he approaches 80 pitches for the out. Carpenter swings it into right on the hitter's count and singled with 2 down.
And that's where he almost loses the element of surprise. We talked about his effectiveness with that hitter on both sides of the plate, but when you get down 2-0 and you lose a hitter, and this is where a guy like Carpenter, who even gets beat on the swing, right, gets in on the hands a little bit, but because I can sell out fastball, does a good enough job getting his hands firing through the zone. Not being barreled. Another great quality at bat from Carpenter.
9-hole batter Reggie Bussey barreled one his last time up that the wind probably knocked down. Fly ball to right, so he's 0 for 1.
Moved a runner that eventually ended up scoring. But Bussey was a kid that, a junior that is very versatile in the box. Like, can do a lot of things and does a great job moving runners. Timely situational hitter. I hate to do it this early, but it's so coach speak. But he is a prototypical second leadoff in that 9-hole where he really does a great job turning the lineup over.
Just extra square on my bingo.
I know. I'm curious how many I'll hit by the end of Sunday night,
Bussey watches the 2-1, so now he's got a strike against him. We get to the fourth before something that I deemed cliche enough to extra
really?
boxes. Yeah, that's all right.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
First one back in the booth for the boys, ready to rumble. I'll take 3 innings in.
Bussey will take that pitch low and away. That's 3-1.
Unique shift on for NC State. The outfield shielded right to left. Infield kind of pinched up the middle.
Bussey takes ball 4. They're at first and second with 2 away for the Buckeyes as it rolls the order over.
That feels like it's going to be kind of, I guess, from a maturity standpoint in the box, that's what their coaches are going to be really got an eye on when it comes to Bussey. That's the second walk of the season compared to just 4 strikeouts. But if he's a guy that can maintain an OBP over 380 or 400 this year, that's a difference maker.
Here comes Alievent. Here comes the hook for NC State. Tom Fritton through 3 2/3. It's a weak single against Will Carpenter and then a walk of Reggie Bussey. So couple on. I'd imagine this means a new arm is coming in for the Wolfpack, but I guess not. Typically, Avent comes out there and then that's the pull.
A little shocking, right? With the righty in the box, both of these teams, their coaches acted righty lefty all the way down through with Peterini on deck. Maybe are at 84 pitches. We said it was going to be about 85 to 90, right? Hopefully he goes and gets his guy at the top of the lineup and doesn't have to face Peterini, but interesting decision by Coach Avent.
Drops it on the inside edge for strike 1. As Matthew Gravelin is 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts against Fritton so far in this game.
Some health with those Jeff Heaters too. See if he can't go ambush one, reclaim the lead for Ohio State.
Sprays it foul, way down the line and up onto the concourse, out of play.
It's kind of what we talked about, right? The sprays, man. Big, strong kid still almost hits a foul ball homer. But you can see right now he's really trying to force his hands through the zone. And the scouting report, man, they are trying to bury fastballs on that inner third against Gravelin.
The 0-2. Fritton goes at him. A hard ground ball to shortstop to Crisio. An accurate throw. And it pans out for Elliott. The decision to get Fritton in. Finishes off the top of the 4th inning.
The University of Alabama Online, where legends log in. A tradition of excellence. Choose from over 100 affordable degree and certificate programs that fit your budget and schedule. Earn the same degree as you would on campus, with the same affordable tuition rate for every state. UA Online. Advance your career and change your life. Get started today at online.ua.edu.
Palm trees are dancing in Jacksonville because of these whipping winds. It is a little bit cooler than you might expect here in the Sunshine State, but we're happy to be here either way. It's not a little bit chilly, but we'll take it.
I was going to say, sure, it's chilly. But it's a beautiful day at the ballpark. It just means instead of ice cream, you're going for the hot chocolate. Shades on, jackets on. Life is good through fall.
First game of the 2nd annual Jacks College Baseball Classic. Ohio State and NC State tied at 3 in this one. Coastal Carolina and Alabama coming up later today. Hunter Shaw, the second arm of the day for Ohio State, struck out the only batter he faced to finish off the 3rd inning. He got a pitch strikeout of Josh Hogue, so he's got Braden Fraseman, Matt Austinfort, and Ty Head. As we have some hard-working spectators out in left center field. construction being done here at ISAR Ballpark, home of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. As if this place needed other layers as we peer out from the booth here. What a sight.
I feel like the old school MLB The Show games when you can create your own stadium and like you just start adding stuff. Like, what are you going to do? Add a Ferris wheel next? We already got an NFL stadium, beautiful bridge. Now they're just adding on to greatness.
And they're playing Roller Coaster Tycoon beyond the right field wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that an old reference? Is anybody going to get that?
I sure hope so, because if they are, reach out to me. I want to be your friend.
Raisman turned on it. Way foul. 0-2.
Raisman, friend of the program, Gaggio Healy said he was so excited to watch two swing it this weekend. Tell why through just a handful of at-bats, man. This young man really confident in the box.
Shabaks one out of play. Keeps his 0-2. Out in front, but still got the bat head on it. And he'll get another 0-2 pitch coming up.
You know, I love, too, when you get a guy that's so kind of used to throwing out of the bullpen and Shaw going straight from the stretch, wasted no time.
Raisman way up into the air. Shallow center. Ellis from a second there to make a catch. One away, Matt Ossenfort to the dish for the Wolfpack.
Sees Ellis still kind of joking with his counterpart up the middle. You mentioned the trees dance, that baseball up in the air today. Those winds gusting every 5 ball. I'm just telling you, having played in their shoes, is not a comfortable one.
Ossenfort turns on it, didn't get all of it. Way up into the air into right. That's a quick second out. Trey Lipsy reels in. You alluded to it with Shaw. That's the first down of the pen for the Buckeyes. 9 pitches to record the first 3 outs of his outing.
He's their go-to guy out of the pen, right? And despite what Mother Nature says, hey, Shaw, he's got fantastic mound presence. Like the way that he navigates the rubber, works in and out.
Right back to him. And pitch 1 out. So, okay, that is 4 outs through 10 pitches for Shaw. Productive as the first come out of the pen for the Buckeyes.
Ran up by the Lux Nessa up the highest metric. The city just made it sweet. You could diabetic. They mouth shit full of deceit. Let these cowards tell it. Walk in New Orleans with the etiquette of LA. Oh man. Somebody got a door. Got my quarterback. Yeah, somebody got a door.
Top of the 5th. It is still Dominic Fritton, a left-handed junior starter, retaking the mound for NC State. We've been worried a couple of times that his outing might be over. The first time he got visited for injury feels dramatic. We think it was just maybe a blister on his throwing hand. That was back early in the outing, and then he got a visit from Elliott Avent after allowing 2 base runners with 2 outs prior to ending the 4th, the top of the 4th, that is. He's still out there. He's 87 pitches in.
And we know that Coach Avent is not shy to allowing his kids a little bit of a leash. Ergo to the mayor, same I feel. But to me, this is the sign of belief in this young man, right? His junior year, he has now become the guy. He's the Friday night dude. This shows veteran growth. Did he have his best stuff today? Absolutely not. Did he find a way to battle when his team needed him most? Of course. This was a really impressive outing. If he can go get a quality start here, if I were a guessing man, it's just going to be Pederini, and like, let's go get the Bulls in the pen. But I had been wrong before, been wrong a couple times already in this broadcast. What do I know? This is impressive stuff from Fritton to just kind of be a bulldog this afternoon.
Tyler Pederini, 1 for 2. Looks at the first pitch, a strike from Fritton. He mows him down in 3 pitches here, and you're Elliott Avent. Still riding him?
I said 85 to 90. If we know Coach Avent as well as we do, yeah, definitely. I think he wants to see how he challenges, right? That this is now you're looking at the 3rd time through the lineup. What do you do? I want to see how a kid responds in this spot. Like, I think Ohio State's going to be much better this year. There's a good, solid ball club, maybe the best so far on NC State's record schedule. Excuse me. Let's see what Fritton's made of a little bit.
Well, my question and hypothetical now is null and void. The count goes to 2-1. This is a great look at the shadows just cutting right through home plate. Certain to be a problem. Petterini skies it up. Foul territory. NC State bullpen can't contain it as it goes out of play. The count goes to 2-2.
You're looking at close to over a 70% usage of that heater today from Fritton, which is also another really good sign for NC State, where he hasn't utilized it as effectively as he's had in the past, but it's still been good enough to get outs, which is a great sign.
It's a pitch away from getting Petterini. Just off the outside. And the count runs full.
Just a dart. Sosa doing a good job trying to steal that pitch off the edge. I think it's probably a ball and a half off, but when you execute pitches like that, Sosa does a great job making it look good.
Full count, and it is nicked back into the backstop. Petterini hangs tough with a 3-2.
This is exactly what we're talking about. Third top through the line. That's, I believe, just the second changeup we've seen today from Fritton, and you got to go deep in the bag to get good getters out. It's a great pitch, just a better fight from Petterini.
Another 3-2. Swung back out of play.
This is fun. I know we're early in the season, but this is best on best. Best Buckeye in the box. Best arm for the Wolfpack on the mound. Great sequence. Throwing one of his earliest changeup. Challenge with the fastball up. Petterini spoils to stay away. Big moment of the game.
Pitch number 8, the most an Ohio State batter has seen today, and it's ball 4. A leadoff walk. That is now 3 of 5 frames at the plate. Ohio State has gotten the leadoff man on successfully.
Talk about those free passes, and this is I'm crediting this one more to Petterini in the fight the box. Those walks starting to creep up. It's 5th a day. It looks like they're going to allow him to stick around.
Landon Carr has been watching carefully the right-hander getting warm for NC State. Now Fritton with pitch number 96 approaches triple digits.
Answer your question. I guess you didn't even have to mow him down there in a little bit of second, like, huh?
Yeah. Want to know to Mark Stevens. Hard hit ground ball to Creasy. Toss Nixon turn, and it's darted first by McHugh.
Taylor made with a bit of a wrinkle. Pick it like a booger, Chris McHugh. Let's go. That's why. Pitch number 97, we're not worried. Dom Fitton gets right back into the fight. Get Stevens to roll over. Great work on the other end. Man, how good has McHugh been this season with the leather? Lofty shoes to fill again on those corner shots. With Pennington departing, McHugh filling in nicely.
First pitch misses the zone to Trey Lipsy, but Fritton now with clear base paths and 2 away in his 5th inning of work. Up and in, 2-0. Lipsy has walked twice in 2 appearances.
It's Friday night roll for NC State. I remember Sam Heifel throwing over 130 plus pitches in conference play. Tough, lunch pail, blue collar on the mound. It's like Dom Fritton's the next in line.
He gets a borderline defensive 2-0 swing there from Lipsy. That was Lipsy appeared pretty uncomfortable there. Again, a 100 pitch appearance so far for Dom Fritton. Little bouncer, Fritton off of his glove, can't make the play.
He upset himself. He's a kid that really defends the position well. Looks like he almost gets handcuffed on that backhand. Right at the hustle from Lipsy getting down the line to force maybe a little bit of pressure on the junior. Yet just catches him right on the palm. Takes a little high hop off the beautiful manicured infield grass here at Jacksonville Jumbo Street Stadium. And thought maybe that'd be the end of the line. Coach Avens on the top step, taking a look down in the pen. Let's see if we'll get to face Lee Ellis for the third time today.
It appears that's going to be the case.
Buying some time to Sosa. I don't know if they need it down to the penny. He's had plenty.
I was going to say Carr's been out there for an inning and a half. I don't suspect any kind of gamesmanship with Sosa trying to figure out maybe a little divot just on the front of home plate.
I'm saying Carr has not been on the mound. Like, I think he's fresh, ready to go. He's just playing catch right now. But
first pitch swinging, big cuts. Lee Ellis leaves the yard. On 102nd pitch of the outing for Dom Fritton, Ohio State, with its first home run, takes the lead.
I hope our replay team's ready. Get out your canvas. Elevate, celebrate, sit and wonder. What a swing here. Yeah, you think you got it? Oh, buddy. Little conversation from our umpiring crew, but this is a young man where the video does not do it justice. #1 recruit out of the state of Maryland. Plays his freshman year at South Carolina. A roller coaster, tumultuous season. Finds a home in Columbus. Justin Hare believes in him, and the Buckeyes back on top.
3 runs in the second inning for Ohio State via very much small ball. Couple of bunts, 1 for a hit, 1 a sacrifice included in that. Get you a team that can do both.
Oh, we told you. Is a raw, toolsy young man that I don't know if you ask scouts around the league where is the power tool there. I don't know. Did he answer your question? About 15 mile per hour winds howling in from left field. And Ellis knew it right off the bat.
Mason Eckelman 1 for 2. He was responsible for that bunt single back in the 3-run second.
How quickly the game can change. We're about to be just raving all over Fritton, who's battled his way through this outing. The error keeps the inning alive. And Lee Ellis, Darren, someone go get that baseball for the boy. That's his first collegiate home run. Didn't play a ton at South Carolina in his freshman season, only started 6 games, and if you remember, 3 of them actually in the SEC tournament. Big moment for not only he, but the entire Ellis family. What a swing.
Breaking ball is in the dirt. It's a full count to Eckelman with 2 away. Fritton continues to labor with the 3-2. Ball 4, and the inning continues. I mean, you're right. It was maybe looking like trouble with Fritton come back out to pitch here in the 5th inning. Walked a leadoff batter, but he races it with double play up the middle. And now the call will be made. Clint Chrysler out to the mound this time. And Tom Fritton's day is done. Wolfpack tried to extend him. And Buckeyes capitalize.
This will be a learning opportunity for the junior. You mentioned some of the sophomore slumps. Still insanely consistent. That team high 17 starts last year. And he knows that you filled your position on that BFP they've been practicing on all winter and fall. That'll haunt him tonight. But I think more so you've learned a lot about this NC State staff and the trust that they have in Dom Fritton. Kid battling through maybe what appears to be a blizzard. Finds his way back on the mound. Gives him a couple really quality innings. And he's one fielded play from getting out with what could have been a potential win. Now they trail by 2.
Andrew Schaffner will be the reliever sent on for NC State. He and Carr were both the 2 throwing lately in the bullpen for NC State, who has seemingly had a lot of activity out there in the bullpen throughout that start by Dom Fritton. We mentioned the multiple times we thought maybe he would come out. Schaffner, one of the at least 3 that has at some point throughout this game gotten up to get warm.
Well, it was Consiglio first, then Carr. Now we land on Schaffner. And it's all about strategy, analytics, and I'll say, hey, what guy we use with X on outs left. Schaffner, a really interesting prospect. They've utilized him in a lot of different ways. You almost thought at this stage the game might go back to Carr, who was the last guy up and ready. But Coach Avent knows best.
A 2-run lead for the Ohio State Buckeyes in search of their first win of the season. Wouldn't it be something to get it over the number 12 team in the country?
Talk about with Ohio State. This is the only top 25 team in the field, even though we think Coastal and Alabama are knocking on the doorstep. But for Ohio State, with so much to prove, coming off a rough weekend in Ohio State, but it proved a lot of doubters wrong that they're going to be competitive. We told you, the boys can bang. They're going to have their hands full with one of the best bullpens in the country, but so far, standing to the test.
Schaffner now for his third appearance of the season. He's tossed 4 2/3, giving up no runs on 3 hits, a walk, and a couple of strikeouts. And he's got the 7th batter in the order, number 7, Nick Jamarusti. Starts him with a breaking ball that enters through the front door. There it is again. Twice in a row, he's got an 0-2. Different look for the Buckeyes. Going from the left-hander Fritton to the righty Schaffner. 2 strikes. Half-hearted swing, and it retires the side. 3 pitches and punch out for Andrew Schaffner. It's NC State out of the frame, but they surrender 2 and surrender the lead. A home run for each, the NC State Wolfpack and the Ohio State Buckeyes. With the difference being that for Ohio State, it gives them a 2-run lead. Lee Ellis with his first collegiate home run in his 2nd year in the game.
Think about the story, too. We mentioned #1 player in the state. This kid's probably never failed his entire life. The conversation we had with Sosa yesterday. These guys, these 5 stars, they arrive on campus, and all of a sudden, go from being the big fish in the small pond to, wow, there are a couple big fish around me. South Carolina last year, I don't know if a lot of fans remember, and I don't want to harp on it, because obviously probably ain't Lee Ellis remembers well. South Carolina, feeling like they have to win to get into a region, right? They end up going on a great, fantastic run off the bat of the big fella Cole Messina. They're playing LSU for a chance to play for an SEC tournament. It's bottom of the 9th. Lee Ellis making his 5th start of the year. Has not played a ton of baseball. His 2nd career start at third base. 9th inning, 2 outs. Dribbler hit his way. Field it, make a throw. You're going to play for an SEC championship. Throws it in the stands. Extra innings. Makes the error attendant. At second life. Steve Milam of LSU hits a walk-off homer in the 11th. It was a learning opportunity for Lee Ellis. Now as a Buckeye, it was all about finding joy in this game. And with that 2-run homer, there was nobody happier, maybe across college baseball, than he, man. What a cool story to see him back in action and having fun with the game he loves.
NC State tries to answer here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Ryan Jaros gets them started. 9-1-2 batters. Jaros skies it up and away, out of play, 1-1. Hunter Shaw delivers. Breaking ball taken, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike to Jaros. Shaw has retired all 4 batters he's faced so far in this relief appearance. Now to be 2-2.
talked about Shaw, that mound presence, loves to work fast, great pace. Can he go find a zero and get the Buckeyes back in the dugout? Or Jaros be able to provide a little support here at the bottom of the lineup like he did in his last at-bat, find a way to get on from the top.
Jaros scoots out of the way. Full count now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Liner down in right. That is a great piece of hitting. And Ryan Jaros leads off with a single for the Wolfpack. First time today NC State has had their leadoff batter reach safely.
That ball was absolutely smoked. Jaros, a linear the other way.
Turns the order over and brings up the second baseman, Luke Nixon. First pitch is a strike. That is pitch number 16 Nixon has seen. And 2 plate appearances and change.
He's got his work cut off with a cut out for him. The lefty on the mound, Nixon taking a bit of a breather. Ohio State defensively, maybe thinking he tried, I don't know if it's a sack bunt with his speed, but over at third, Pedrini playing up 2 steps in from the bag.
Jaros back safely. Remember last time he was on, he walked back in the 3rd inning, and a couple pickoff moves led to that error by Erdman on one of the pickoff throws. So Jaros advanced, and that got the scoring going as he eventually came around on Justin DeCricio's home run.
Charles probably scratching his head going, I'm not really too sure what you guys are concerned with over here, but it's really making me feel maybe a whole lot faster than I actually am.
0-2. Not quite enough snap to get into the strike zone. And Luke Nixon with a good eye makes it 1-2.
I think it's one of those situations where Eckelman's set up away, breaking ball backs up on him a little bit, having to lean with the body. And caught the plate. Nixon got second life.
Fights it off. There's a 3rd.
He's got it. I mean, he's just so pesky at the plate. I said he was such a professional his last at bat, but I'm sure guys on the mound, it's just so frustrating to try to throw to Luke Nixon. Obviously, his brother on the team a season ago. Those guys in the bottom part of that order were just so frustrating to throw to.
Even count 2-2. Luke Nixon, so again, he has seen more pitches by a mile than any Wolfpack batter. This is his first time, or the second batter of the 3rd time through the order, and it's going to be pitch number 6 to him. Off the handle, flared up into the air, and it's out of play. So he now has, as of this next pitch, will have seen at least 7 pitches every time he's been up.
It's just what he brings to the table. He played 30 different positions last year. He hit in 6 different spots in the lineup. Like, it doesn't really matter. This dude's just a ball player.
Another 2-2. Yanked foul. And turned on that one in a hurry. Another foul ball. That is his 4th with 2 strikes against him.
And kudos to Shaw for not caving quite yet, but hasn't given him a cookie. Nixon continues to stay alive. And this is like that old school prototypical leadoff hitter. Maybe he grew up watching a little bit of film with Pops and applied it to his own game.
Look at him reach out for that one. Almost got up to our window here.
There's another great pitch, another spinner down. And by the way, too, if you're at home thinking to yourself, man, I can barely see Nixon. This is not an easy at-bat where Shaw's throwing from a tough arm angle. Like, this is where those shadows become super difficult for any hitter.
Jaros back again. Maybe this is what you were talking about earlier with Shaw. Just try to reset Nixon's eyes after he's fought off everything you've given him for the past handful of pitches. Pitch number 10 hits Nixon.
Pitcher's nightmare, coach's dream. What's the number? I'm not a math guy. 9 pitches that AB?
10th pitch.
10. That's 34 pitches. He's seen 3 at-bats. This, a heater. Front shoulder wide open for Josh. You can see just not between the lower half and the upper body. Right off the forearm. That doesn't feel good. But, man, his Coach Avent fired up at his leadoff guy. Just a bully in the batter's box.
And now there are runners at first and second with no outs for the guy who hit a 3-run shot for you his last time up, Justin DeCrisio. No swing from DeCrisio. It's an 0-1 start. He's 1 for 2. In addition to the home run, he hit a fly ball to left his first time up. Another one scorched out for the gap in left center, and a sliding grab by Jamarusti.
Crisis averted, man. This ball had gap written all over it. Jamarusti, who has been busy today, out in left field. This most dazzling play with the letter. And look where he's playing, shaded towards the line. And because of that wind, it almost gets kicked down a little bit. Jamarusti doing a good job keeping the eyes up. The panic, securing out number 1.
Runner stay put. Alex Sosa now the batter. Watches a strike to make it 0-1. Single his first time up. Strikeout looking more recently in the 3rd.
By the way, I want to say with DeCrisio, all 3 today, 1 for 3 with the homer. All 3 over 95 exit velo with that big barrel, man. This guy cannot miss right now.
Called strike 2, so Sosa again will have to battle.
Back-to-back breaking balls, man. He has seen nothing but spin so far.
Shaw's 0-2, another breaker.
I know it probably sounded like Captain Obvious right there, but 3 breaking balls starting the at-bat, but he's only seen 1 fastball in his 3 ABs today. And if you remember, it was that linea in his first at-bat that single out to right.
1-2. Lifted up into the air, shallow right center. Cachet for the second out, and he gets it into the infield quickly, and the runners stay put.
Sosa is such a, I guess, an interesting prospect because he's such a big, strong, physical kid, but his bat head is in the zone for what feels like a century. Right, like he misses on this breaking ball here, leaks a little bit on the front side, but he still does a good enough job of trying to take a ball, flare it out into right center field. Just a better play by Bussey to make a play, but man, I think, too, when you watch his development, like when he starts to pick up spin almost from like a discipline standpoint in the box, his game's going to reach a totally new level.
Chris McHugh fouls off the first pitch, 0-1. Infield single his last time up for the Wolfpack cleanup hitter. Opposite field, curling toward foul ground, and it is out of play.
Lee Ellis, that home run with 2 outs. Now can NC State return the favor with a 2-out swing? You know, on that, especially on that flare job on the right field side. McHugh, it's not as emphatic as Pennington's big high leg kick last year for Wolfpack Nation, but he does kind of have that hip tilt where he's going to sit on that backside. It's going to be a slight pause on the front.
Hard grounder over to third. Pederini pops up and delivers a throw across the diamond to retire the side. So again, Ohio State puts up runs and then puts up a 0 defensively. Buckeyes by 2.
This is the concert ticket, and the t-shirt you bought, and the wristband that the bouncer put on just a little too tight. This is the ride after the concert. To this place, Whataburger, where you ate these hash browns and drank this coffee with these people, your friends, and some guy named Ronnie. No matter how your night starts, it should end with breakfast. Open 24/7 with breakfast served 11 p.m. to 11 a.m.
Well, we're through 5. Ohio State leads it by 2. 5-3 the count for the Buckeyes against the number 12 team in the country. And Andrew Schaffner out to toss to 8-9-1 in the Ohio State order. Jack, before we get back into the action, let me ask you this. We've alluded to the shadows a couple of times. They swipe right across in front of home plate. Just how irritating is that as a hitter?
Sometimes it feels almost more mental than the actual reality of the situation, where the hitting is hard. Now you add a different added element. To me, it almost made more of a difference when a guy was coming at an unconventional arm angle, where you see those guys in the three-quarter slot, or maybe even a subby. But being in a big league ballpark like this with a fantastic batter eye, great venue, the reality of the situation, it's not like a terrifying difference, but it's enough to just almost mess with the mental psyche of it.
Will Carpenter leads off to face Schaffner there, the right-hander for NC State. A couple of productive plate appearances for him. A sac bunt that allowed a run to score in the second inning, and then a single in the fourth. Hard hit ball up the middle, and the short hop ate up Nixon. Carpenter with another base hit. Leads off with a single for Ohio State.
Carpenter, first start of the year, first start as a Buckeye. Really quality at that second hit of the game. You remember it was a safety squeeze, RBI bunt in his first AB. This one, the scored pass, the sure hand to Nixon.
Now to Reggie Bussey with a man on. The bunt away. The ruling over at third base is that he did come around with an attempt to get it down, so Hank Heminen rules that it's a strike. Ball got away, and Carpenter advances into scoring position at second.
But the job now already done. Now the conversation between Hare and Bussey is, hey, we got to move this thing, and it's got to be a bunt up the first baseline to force the long throw, advance the runner. You know, in spirit and honor of hockey season, the whole country on board for the Final Four face-off last night. That, as a catcher, you talked about the shadows. It's pretty tough as a catcher back there with that shadow as well. But more importantly, when a guy, almost like in hockey, standing right in front of that goalie, guy waving the bat, looking to get a bunt down, man, it really obscures the vision. I think it's exactly what happened with Sosa in that last pitch.
Bussey still squares, whips it away, but it's a called strike, so 0-2. This is how Ohio State is going to make its hay this season. We talked about it earlier, Justin Hare. A small ball king in his days, leading to Campbell fighting Campbellson. Bussey punches it over the infield and into right. It's bobbled by Josh Hogue. I think the run would have scored anyway, but that allows Bussey to get all the way to second.
It's a good breaking ball. Bussey just deposits it out in the right field. The Oakland transfer fired up beyond belief. Excuse me, that's a fastball that just gets in on hands. I mean, it almost looks like a bit of a cutter. So much movement. Bussey, early, often on time. Not much of a barrel, but the Buckeyes extend the lead.
Ohio State's got the number 12 team in the country doubled up in the top of the sixth inning. Bussey takes off from second, and he's safe at third with a stolen back.
Darren, I got 2 words. This is just baseball stuff. We saw a safety squeeze in a 3-2 count earlier. We're moving runners. We're stealing third. Baseball stuff here at the Jacks Classic.
Gravelin rips it into right center. That'll drive in Bussey. An RBI single to make Ohio State's lead 4.
Gravelin has woke up. We talked about it. made an emphasis during BP. We watched all 5 of his rounds trying to hit the baseball the other way. See almost that scissor action with the lower half. Where Diggs a heater in, the hands get extended out. He shoots it out into right center field, and the Buckeyes are buzzing.
First pitch is a ball to Tyler Petterini. 3 consecutive hits for Ohio State to begin the top of the 6th inning. That one darted down and in. 2-0 the count to Petterini. To get this thing started, Will Carpenter's single, Jack, the 4th leadoff batter in 6 tries to reach safely for Ohio State. All but one of those innings has led to runs.
A winning recipe. And I gotta be honest, Schaffner has looked good. Like the stuff is playing. Ohio State's just giving what he's taking, not getting too big, hitting the ball the other way. Obviously, Bussey, the lefty, gets a little jam, but he's able to pull it out in the right center field. Impressive offensive approach. It's one of the better relievers the Pack have.
Three and one. Runner at first, still no outs. And a strike on the inner half brings the count full. Full count pitch from Schaffner. Runner goes. Swung on and missed. The throw way off and into center field. But Gravelin will stay put at second.
It's interesting. It almost looked like Sosa was throwing to Nixon, the second baseman, getting to the bag. But clearly with a lefty in the box, obviously the guy on the other side of the diamond is going to go chase. He just throw it like away from Sosa. But you're starting to see 2 guys picked off earlier in this game. You think that's going to slow down Justin Hare in this identity of an offense? Another bag taken second.
Schaffner, first pitch breaker, crosses the plate against Mark Stevens, who grounded into a double play his last time up. 1 for 3 on the day. Across the face of the strike zone, and a called strike 2 against Stevens. High in the air, trouble if it's fair, but it falls in foul ground.
Stevens barely gets the blue double to fall within another ribby, but you know what? If Ohio State baseball fans are kind of tuning in and trying to feel out the Justin Hare era, Stevens might be the perfect example. He's a young man committed to go play for Hare at Campbell. He played at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. And if you understand the college baseball world, like I think you might if you're a D1 baseball subscriber, man, there's been nobody better that has recruited the junior college bandit like Justin Hare in his time at Campbell, stealing guys away from the likes of North Carolina, NC State to come and play and refine their skills at Campbell. He was a menace in the transfer portal world regarding the junior college ranks for a decade at Campbell. And this type of player is a guy that maybe Ohio State's never really been able to recruit before. But with Hare, you do.
1-2. Stevens throws the bat at it. Another pop-up into shallow right. And Nixon, a sliding grab. And Brown quickly gets the throw over. Keep the runners at bay.
Friends at home are going, man, this is routine. It's a danged if you do, danged if you don't play from Luke Nixon. This is his ball off the jump, especially with Miller in the box, where your right fielders have right center field. This is a really difficult play, over the shoulder sliding, heads up to make sure that a pesky Ohio State base running team don't try to take an extra bag. Fantastic work by Luke Nixon.
Trey Lipsy looks at a strike. 0 for 1, but a couple of runs scored so far for Lipsy. 2 away. He's got a chance to knock one in with a base hit. Bounces it up the middle. DeCrisio. Strong throw across. Retires the side, but not before a couple more are plated by Ohio State. They lead it 7-3. Bottom of the 6th, the Jacks Classic game, 1 of 6 this weekend. Jack the long shot, Darren Bott with you on D1 Baseball. The Ohio State Buckeyes looking to pull off the upset. Up 7-3 against the number 12 NC State Wolfpack. And our day is complete. We've got a dizzy bat race.
Well, I think ACC fans are, well, those young men didn't look too busy to me. I'm not sure how many times they had to spin around.
Yeah, it's about the technique, right? You spin without spinning, you know what I mean?
Well, it's kind of telling. Young man rocking a Tar Heel hoodie at a Wolfpack game. NC State dugout going, who brought this little man? He's your dizzy bat champion, and they might be as dizzy as an NC State dugout going, how quickly did that happen? How fast this game was spun upside down. You give up the 3 spot earlier, the big-time 3-run bomb from DeCrisio ties things, new ball game, Britton starting to roll. 1 PFP error on the mound. And Lee Ellis has been the difference in that scoreboard, a 2-run shot. 3 singles to start the last inning. And this Ohio State offense, we told you, balanced, disciplined. They're already bought in, just 8 months in to the Justin Hare era. I'm telling you, Big Ten teams beware. Buckeyes are for real.
Nick Copenhaver is a redshirt freshman, transferred from Vanderbilt. You don't get there without having a big-time arm.
Third on the day. I think you're going to see Ohio State, too, go, all right, hey, this offense at NC State, a lot of new faces, really talented. No one's going to see another guy once, right? Like, you're going to try to get each guy to go one time through the lineup, and it's going to be the next dude, Johnny Holstaff, the rest of the way.
So the line ends up for Hunter Shaw, left-hander, first out of the pen for Ohio State. As 2 1/3 innings of scoreless baseball. Strikeout, gave up just the 1 hit, no walks, but he hit a batter. Really good showing. Josh Hogue leads off the bottom of the 6th inning for NC State, looking at ball 1. It's over to a pop-up and a strikeout swinging. Yanks it down the line and right. It rolls all the way to the warning track and to the wall. Extra bases for Hogue to lead off the 6th for the Wolfpack.
We were just talking about being on time. Talked about the big arm of the mound. Number 2 pitcher, State of Ohio coming out. Talked about how talented, wealth of riches of young men at the game in the State of Ohio. Man, this is one of the best. He ends up at Vandy, to your point, Darren. And I think Josh Hogue knew it. So he's going to get the foot down early. He ambushes an early base runner. If you're NC State, don't have to get all 4 back this inning, but hey, sure, just 1 would help build some confidence for that offense.
Braden Fraseman, first pitch swinging, lines out up the middle. Unfortunate for the Wolfpack as Hogue stays put at second. This is the 2nd outing of the season for Copenhagen here for Ohio State. Got knocked around a little bit in Arizona last weekend, so he's saddled with a loss. Gave up a couple of earned runs, an extra base hit in that outing. So far, a couple of batters in, he's gotten hit pretty hard by the Wolfpack.
2 loud barrels. This is a young man that really trusts his fastball, and he should. And the issue is he goes to Vanderbilt, but he's a redshirt, so he hasn't played under the lights in quite some time. He's starting to get back that competitive spirit.
Pushed up the middle by Matt Austin. Fourth line effort, and Atlas's throw does not quite get to the bag in time. But everybody's safe. They're at 1st and 3rd for NC State. Almost a sensational play at 2nd to get the out.
This is exactly what you're taught if you're Lee Ellis. Man, look at the range to go get this baseball. Catch it in shallow center field, off the back foot, gives him the long hop. Trying to vacuum it over at first base. Unable to pull it in. Carpenter.
They're at the corners. Called strike to tie head.
He at home, I'm getting a read on our TrackMan upstairs. Hasn't logged yet. It almost looked like that was a backed up slider, but just like showing a little bit of spin early. It'll show a different look. There's a much better breaking ball.
Head way out in front of it. He's down 0-2.
Ty Head's going, hey, everybody else got fastballs. You mind mixing one into me?
Again, he can't connect. Big strikeout for Copenhaver is the second away.
That's a welcome college baseball moment for Ty Head, right? Copenhaver comes in, big kid, 6'4", stock righty, heater, barrel. Ty Head, runners in scoring position. Buckle up. Here comes 3 breaking balls, one better than the next. Love that he tried to pin it up on the outside corner. Maybe a little bit too much, though. He's going to walk away with a punch out.
1-0 to Ryan Jaros. So walking a single in his 2 plate appearances. There's one entering through the front door. Makes it 1-1.
I just feel like this would be a huge 0 for the just confidence of Copenhagen. You mentioned getting kind of rocked a little bit at Arizona State. Now it gets a top 15 team in the country and gets in a little bit of trouble.
Jaros out in front. Man, I don't know. You said he loves the fastball. He's falling in love with the breaking ball.
He loves his fastball, but I don't think he loved the results of every time he threw that fastball. So, hey, showing that he can go to that secondary pitch, though, is, I mean, come on. He's like, all right, let's grow a little bit.
1-2 down in the dirt. Great effort by Eckelman to get to it, even though it allows Austin Fort to advance to second from first.
Just enough. Almost getting 5-hold. By the time he blocks his baseball in a left-handed batter's box, able to get enough leather on it to keep it in the halo. It's the difference between a run.
Copenhaver sat with a 2-2. Almost got it. Jaros kept the bat up on his shoulder. The pitch misses high, and it's a full count.
And dugout wanted it. Buckeye Nation ready to convince, but you could tell even by kind of the body language of Copenhaver on the mound. He goes, I missed. Hey, I was trying to get up there. That's fine. I think we're seeing a young man really grow up right in front of our eyes in just this half inning. Let's see if he can't seal the deal.
2 in scoring position for the Wolfpack. Right side of the infield, easy play for Will Carpenter, and 2 are stranded in scoring position. Big 0 put up for the frame by Ohio State. Some Jack's Classic trivia for you, brought to you by the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. Here you go, Jack. What Ohio State pitcher had the most strikeouts in a single season?
Here's the deal. My college baseball trivia. I've been educating myself. I'm trying to get like you guys. I heard that Kyle Peterson sat in his chair and was pretty impressive. I'll tell you this, though. These 4 guys, I don't want to say the Mount Rushmore of Ohio State pitching. They have not made it easy on myself. I always like to say C's get degrees. I'll go Steve Arlen. He was really good for a long time for the Buckeyes. And I believe 2 names on this list cut short with professional careers. I'm going to go Arlen because I think he was on campus the longest.
I say C as well. But you realize this is a single season. So I don't like your logic.
No, I didn't. Can I change my answer?
No, well, C final answer. We'll hold to find out if we were right a little bit later.
Did my SAT skills just get exposed to the entire world? Read the question fully, Jack. Got too excited.
The baseball scouting grading range, right, 20 to 80. Deductive reasoning, Jack DeLongchamp.
25.
21. 22.
Oh, man.
It was right there, single season.
I got excited, Darren. I got nervous, let's be honest. It's been such a fun game, but I had the trivia like all juiced up all afternoon going, don't ruin it.
Top of the 7th inning, Ohio State looking to add on to a 4-run lead against the 12th ranked NC State Wolfpack. Lee Ellis will be the first batter for the Buckeyes. 2-run blast his last time up in the 5th. Really changed the game. Broke a 3-3 tie. And Ohio State has not stopped since then. Pitch. Thuds a ground ball to DeCrisio short. And that's the first down.
I think we have our first broken metal bat of the season. I think we're going to see a cap come ricocheting off, but you can see, sure enough, McHugh handed the yard sale broken luggage of Lee Ellis and 2-run homer to broken metal bat. The duality of man.
One away, nobody on. Mason Eckelman now. The Buckeyes catcher. The next to face Landon Carr, who just successfully got his first retired in this relief outing.
You still have me here?
Eckelman turns on it, up into the air, shallow right center, down for a hit. Valiant effort by Luke Nixon from second base, ranging all the way to the middle of the outfield grass. But Eckelman with a bunt and a bloop for hits today.
Here's the deal. The game will reward you. Eckelman, who entered today's contest, just 2 for 11. What Coach Hare tell us? He goes, there's a lot of conversation about Matthew Graffin, and rightfully so. The kid's a stud. But we love the tandem that we have back there. Eckelman scorched a couple of baseballs against the Sun Devils. He leaves the weekend 2 for 11. Couple bloopers. Baseball gods reward you.
Nick Jamarusti looks at one up and in. Another take, and it's 1-1. These two back-to-back. We were talking about batting stances earlier. Eckelman with sort of the vertical bat head up to the sky, and his hands are away from his body. These two back-to-back are the perfect illustration of the dynamic with this Ohio State club. Skied up into the air. Sosa loses the mask, but he's kept a hold of it and is unable to squeeze the pop-up.
That's about as close as not getting out of the playing surface as possible. I think that almost caught him by surprise. The wind, we told you, gusting today. But you could tell the confusion by not ditching that mask, to your point there.
Yeah, I mean, his leg guard on his left was grazing that low wall as the ball came down. Jamarusti looks at one in the dirt. Now he's got a 2-2.
I could slider from Carr. Hey, he's got some of the most horizontal depth, not to bore anybody at home, on this NC State bullpen, and that's saying something because they got Derek Smith back there with maybe the best slider in the country. That's a heck of a take.
And a hit by pitch. Jamarusti jammed. Didn't offer a swing, and it nicks him to put him on first. Ooh, off the wrist.
I was going to say, he would disagree with you. It didn't nick him. That caught him clean. That did not feel good. You can say struggling to get that batting glove off right now. You get hit in the forearm. Starts to lose all feeling in his fingers. You saw the stance. He's a gritty dude. He'll be all right.
Will Carpenter squares to bunt, pulls it away. So it's 1-0. That's the first hit batter for Ohio State today. Worth noting.
6 pitches in a row.
At Campbell, Justin Hare coached the last 2 teams to lead the country in hit by pitches.
Is that right? Look at you with your homework this week. Can't teach that, can you? Or maybe you can.
I suppose you can. I mean, if you talk to coaches who know Justin Hare and know his game well, the assumption is this Ohio State team's going to be up there in the national rankings of hit battle.
Well, I'll tell you, his energy is contagious, just like Happy Gilmore. So I don't know if he's got the boys in the cages just wearing fastballs off the chest, but it would not surprise me if they did. It just would.
That's the second Happy Gilmore reference of our weekend.
Oops.
Wasn't that Rob Vaughn down on the field during practice yesterday who quoted the movie?
Rob Vaughn did give us a Happy Gilmore quote, and then he looked around and goes, these boys don't even know what I'm talking about. Thank you guys.
3-1 to Will Carpenter. Couple of hits, a sacrifice bunt. Lifted up into the air. Left side of the infield. Stays in between the lines. Ryan Jarrow scripts it.
See our umpire signaling with it coming back into fair territory, signaling that infield fly. It's the first time that we've seen Carpenter off balance today through really solid quality at-bats, showing bunt early, even with 1 out. Great work by Carr. Try to limit the damage, get out of here, put a 0 on the board, and let his offense try to get back in the game.
Reggie Bussey is 1 for 2. He's hit it hard a couple of times. He's been up. Takes the first, 0-1. On the ground, dug up by McHugh at first, and he wins the race, though he had quite the advantage, a shorter distance to get to the bag. Then Reggie Bussey retires the side in the top of the 7th inning. Stretch time here in Jacksonville. While we're doing that, let's revisit that trivia question from a bit earlier.
I'm embarrassed. I don't want to revisit it. I got the question wrong. How am I supposed to get the answer right?
Well, it was pertaining to single season strikeouts in Ohio State Buckeye history. You and I both, despite your misreading of the question, said C. Steve Arlen. Let's find out if we were right. Oh, there we go.
1-0. Doesn't how you get to your answer as long as you get it right.
All right, so we're 1 for 1 for the weekend, or with it, where that came from. So get excited to play along, D1 Baseball subscribers, as we're just at the stretch of the first game.
It's just scratching the surface. I need them to do us a favor. Shoot us a tweet. Let us know. I want to see if you guys got the answer right. And if you feel compelled, make fun of me for my deductive reasoning. But just know that I am 1 for 1 if you're going to start talking. But hit us up. Play the game with us.
That's a great idea. Come on. I mean, they're all going to get it right now. But
now. But we got 5 more, man.
Top of the order for NC State in the bottom of the 7th inning. Luke Nixon there, number 0. Trying to work the Wolfpack back from down 4, 7-3. Ohio State in our opener. Looking for the upset of the number 12 team in the country.
I think, to be frank, right, you talked about bingo cards. I didn't necessarily have this score on my bingo
Yeah.
card. And it wasn't that I didn't think that Ohio State was going to be able to hang with them, but if they were to have, I just figured they were going to have to like play almost a football score-type game and really score some runs with them like they did out against the Big 12 foe, Arizona State. That still feels weird to say out loud. And today, the Ohio State pitching staff has showed up and showed out.
First pitch strike to Luke Nixon, who has seen a lot of pitches. 10 his last time up before getting hit by a pitch.
Remember, too, kind of my philosophy on and how I think Coach Robinson, pitching coach at Ohio State, is going to attack this thing. Johnny Holstaff, all hands on deck. To me, every reliever is going to see this NC State lineup just one time through. I don't know if they want to be able to turn it over. And with Copenhagen getting into a little bit of trouble, being able to work out of that jam, he saw Hogue, so 5 through 9. He'll have to face 1 through 4 for the first time. There's nobody really necessarily moving around in that Buckeye bullpen, so here in the bottom of the 7th, you start counting down outs a bit. With 9 to go, do they ask Copenhagen to maybe potentially go the distance?
Called strike 3. Luke Nixon watches on a 2-2 and is punched out for the first time today.
Copenhagen's second punch out today is a beaut. We told you, Nixon, a tough out in the box. This is a guy that does not strike out often. His breaking ball just perfectly spotted up on the outer third, freezes him.
Just the 4th time this season Luke Nixon has gone down on strikes. On the note of Justin DeCrisio. Taken strike. That is a beaut from Copenhagen.
Great spot. Hey, when he started throwing that slider with more confidence, that's completely changed his outing today.
For 1-2. Off the mark, even count. Right back up the middle. Ellis gloves. Throw on the run is there.
Dare I? Da-da-da.
Guy can play.
Do it with the bat, do it with the glove. Lee Ellis, he's got him shaded through the middle of the field. That does not limit how difficult of a catch and throw this is. On the other side of the bag off of 1 foot, Lee Ellis making it look like slight work.
That's a couple of web gems in a row against DeCrisio batted balls. Oh, he's had tough luck since the 3-run home run.
Well, it's shocking that coming into this game, DeCrisio hitting a measly 625. He's going to see his average drop today, and he legit could easily be 4 for 4 so far.
Close take. Sosa has 1-1. Alex Sosa 1 for 3. Singled in the first. Nothing since then. Goes the other way with it. And it's run down. Damarusti makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down for the Wolfpack in the bottom of the 7th. 2 frames to go. Ohio State up 7-3 on the number 12 team in the country. First game of the 2nd annual Jack's College Baseball Classic. Ohio State up by 4 runs against the number 12 NC State Wolfpack. accurate throwers. Well, one, it appears.
Well, I got to tell you, they're throwing heaters at that thing. Like, there's no accuracy needed. Yep, watch your legs.
Yeah, our guy on the left here hasn't hit one yet.
He's throwing 145 miles per hour there. Who said you needed accuracy? Have you not seen how these kids are getting recruited these days?
There's one.
They just want to see a number. Coach Hare's 5 feet away from him. The guy might be only 10 years old, but he's going, boys, I hit 91 on the football toss-a-lot game. Let's get a shot.
Trying to get a scholarship.
They can teach accuracy, can't teach velo.
All right, so a new arm out there for NC State. It's Jackson Lucas, the 6'3" right-hander, a sophomore out of very nearby Garner, North Carolina, as in nearby to Raleigh and NC State.
Lucas, who was making his first appearance of the season today. He made 15 pitching appearances last year as a freshman, just one start in the midweek game. 21 innings, 22 strikeouts. Hey, that was a loaded staff last year, so for just a freshman to get as many innings as he did on a team that goes to Omaha filled with veteran presence, he a part of that class with Duden and Consiglio. He's kind of a third party that's left out. Kid's really talented. You know what I mean? Like, he's the Garner, North Carolina native, right from down the street. He almost kind of blends into what's going on, but I'm really excited about the future of Jackson Lucas.
Look at the top of the Ohio State order, beginning with Matthew Gravilla, an RBI single his last time up, as well as a stolen base, his second of the season back in the 6th. First pitch, a strike. It'll be Gravelin, Petterini, and Stevens due up this frame.
Ohio State, some of the struggles they've had in the pen, a 4-run lead does not feel comfortable. Time to keep your foot on the gas, and nobody's been better at that than the top of this lineup.
Close take by Gravelin makes it 3-1.
2-1 slider from Lucas. It's a long, wiry kid. He's got great feel with all 3 pitches.
He gets strike 2 there, full count. Popped up. Nixon identifying. And makes the catch. He had to go a long way. He spotted it toward the middle of the infield and almost was side by side with his first baseman, McHugh.
We've now seen 3 straight zeros in half innings, Darren. You can tell the wind gusts and the sun's been tough on these in and outfielders. Maybe the shadow has played a little bit of a bigger role than maybe I kind of alluded to. Right now, especially with Lucas kind of almost standing alone in the sunlight. Ohio State Buckeyes kind of feel like they're left on an island. Big, long, wiry, 6'4" kid, great touch and feel. He kind of doesn't just pass the eye test. Like, it's a very easy 89 to 91 exploding that lane.
He's got a 1-1 to Tyler Petterini. You can tell, no matter what of the arsenal he throws, that thing moves. Hard hit on the ground. McHugh stops it, stays in front, and Lucas covers at the bag, 2 away.
It just makes it uncomfortable to your point. Like, even when you've got a guy, and I've said this for forever, as a pretty below average collegiate hitter, I can hit a fastball. Like, I could go ambush a 4-seam fastball. But I'd rather see the guy throwing 95, 96 than the guy that's 89, 91 with control of a changeup and a slider. And right now, Lucas, who just in his sophomore career, like, he's really only working off that 2-seam fastball and slider. But when he's got the ability to extend into outings, look how much action he's got on that big sweeper. And it's not like he's really, like, going crazy full Snapdragon on us. It's coming out in the hand. He hides it really well.
That's a good example right there. Just dropped into the zone in front of Stevens, 1-1.
Maybe takes a little bit less on it, like he really lets that first one go, so it's almost a show me, and the second starts it right on that front hit. And then when you throw that four-seam fastball, all of a sudden, it just, 91 looks like 98.
Lucas is 1-2.
Geared up on that fastball. It was about 2 to 3 miles per hour harder.
Floats one in front of Stevens, who just barely got a piece.
That looked like a backup changeup.
Yeah.
Sometimes as a hitter, you're like, I don't think he meant to throw that, but it doesn't make it any easier to hit like a mistake up and out of the zone.
Yeah.
You see a changeup up, your eyes light up. Maybe an ill-advised swing, but in and out of the glove. So you got second life.
2-2. Watched for strike 3. Lucas with a peerless frame in the top of the 8th inning. Wolfpack trying to roar back into this one, down 4. Bottom 8th coming your way from Game 1 of the Jacks Classic.
This is the concert ticket, and the t-shirt you bought, and the wristband that the bouncer put on just a little too tight. This is the ride after the concert. To this place, Whataburger, where you ate these hash browns and drank this coffee with these people, your friends, and some guy named Rodney. No matter how your night starts, it should end with breakfast. Open 24/7 with breakfast served 11 p.m. to 11 a.m.
Get ready this weekend. Ken Scott will be donating 20% of all purchases back to the 625 Roses Foundation.
To the bottom of the 8th we go in Jacksonville. Number 12, NC State, trailing by 4 runs to Ohio State. The Buckeyes, after their first win of the season in Game 1 of the Jacks Classic. Nick Copenhaver continues his relief outing for the Buckeyes as he threw a couple of innings cleanly. Gave up a double to the first batter he faced. Another hit since then, but it was an infield single, so he's bounced back admirably from that.
I thought they got a great start out of Erdman. That third inning proved to be kind of the dagger, second time through the lineup. And then when you look at Ohio State today, just even the box score kind of tells the tale. In order to beat a top 15 team in the land, right, you got to be almost perfect. And for NC State, they've made some mistakes. And for the Buckeyes, got to take advantage of those mistakes. They have 3 errors for NC State today. But to me, it almost felt like the pressure of Ohio State forced them into a position with their backs up against the wall. A really impressive outing so far, and now just 6 outs away from their first win of the Justin Hare era.
4, 5, 6 batters due up for the Wolfpack, beginning with Chris McHugh. Copenhaver's first floats inside, and it's 1-0. And I think that's part of the philosophy with Justin Hare, transferring what he did so well as the head coach at Campbell. McHugh on the ground, over to short. Stevens, easy play for the first out. He is very much a believer that those numbers under the E spot up on the scoreboard, they do not exist in a vacuum, right? The way you play can influence that number throughout the span of a game. And if it's a game in which you're playing on the margins, they make a big difference.
Especially in the Big Ten this season, where I think everybody, when they do their preseason write-ups, like it just feels like Oregon's conference to lose this year, just because they've just been knocking on the door, getting to a super regional in both of their last 2 seasons. For the Ducks, it's going to be an adjustment, though. To now, you're going to ask these teams of 40 players, 15 staff, it's going to be an adjustment. Like, it's not like getting on a basketball plane and going with 15 guys. Like, this is going to be a complete overhaul. So I'm not just so sure to count in the Ducks as a sure foregone winners.
Nice snag by Carpenter at first. Tosses to his pitcher, covering. That's a slick second out.
do all that rambling because I think this Buckeye team is a slick team, flying under the radar. For those that don't really familiarize themselves with the mid-major world, like all Justin Harris has done in the last decade is win. Like that's all he knows.
Yeah.
And just because he's wearing a different emblem, like doesn't mean that that's going to change the way they go about their work. So, and we've seen Michigan play really good baseball down in Puerto Rico a week ago. USC and UCLA are kind of wild cards with some of the best baseball tradition. How do they impact the Big Ten this year? Nebraska, top 25 team, making their name. Well, that might be the best team today if you were to ask me, my favorite in the Big Ten, but it's a loaded conference this year.
Frazeman skies it up, shallow left, and Jamarusti comes in to make another tough play. He's had a handful of putouts for them in left, and it's another 3-up, 3-down inning at the bottom of the 8th. 4-run lead still for Ohio State. Back in Jacksonville, where we are within an eye shot of the Jacksonville Jaguars facility and Everbank Stadium here at VyStar Ballpark, home of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, the AAA affiliate of the Miami Marlins, our gracious hosts for the second annual Jacksonville College Baseball Classic on D1 Baseball. And might we get an upset in game one of this year's tournament? Ohio State up 4 on number 12 NC State and heading to the plate to try to add some insurance in the top of the 9th.
Lipsy due up for the Buckeyes. He's found his way on 3 of his 4 at-bats, but it was that third at-bat that felt like the difference in the game. Ohio State gets it back to even. It's a 3-3 contest. Lipsy rolls over to the right side. His energy and effort, he doesn't pout. He gets down the line, and he forces it down for an error. One batter later with 2 outs in the inning, Lee Ellis goes, Yahtzee! Bat flip, pimp job, all of it, I'm all in. They lead by 5. It was 4 unanswered since that point in this contest, and that serves to be the test of time as the Buckeyes, you're right, counting down 3 outs now.
Lipsy, Ellis, Eckelman due up. And Jackson Lucas packages a first pitch strike to make it 0-1. Lipsy walked his first 2 times up, reached on the error you spoke of. And after that, more recently, the ground out to shortstop. So he's 0 for 2, but a couple runs scored. High, deep, right field. And it is over the wall onto the construction site. A leadoff home run for Trey Lipsy adds another to Ohio State's lead.
Grab your construction helmets. Lipsy's got takeoff. Ambush a heater. The Buckeyes by 5.
That one just got out for Lipsy as the second home run of the day for Ohio State. Lee Ellis hit the first, and he is now the batter with open base paths.
Darren, I don't want to look too into it. We had 4 straight half innings with a 0. The first, that the shadow, not playing a role, but both members inside of that shadow.
Yeah.
Now the sun just peering out towards the middle infielders and outfield. We get a homer almost immediately. Again, not looking into much into it, but something to consider.
Ellis fouls it away. 1-2 his count. All right, so that makes it a steeper mountain to climb for the Wolfpack when we get to the bottom of the 9th inning.
They'll send up 7, 8, 9, but you're right. Now looking to do some damage. It had to be the number 1 story on D1 baseball if they're able to overcome a 5-run lead in the 9th and the Jack's Classic. This feels like a fairly statement win, a big upset in this Classic where it felt like NC State, the only top-ranked team in the field, was able to come in, run the table. They lost a lot of veterans. I'm excited to see how their youngsters bounce back tomorrow, but this has been way more to do with what Justin Hare and the Buckeyes have brought to the Sunshine State.
Ellis out in front, swings and misses for the first out of the frame. Yeah, look, NC State lost between 65 and 70% of its offensive production from a season ago in 5 players, right? We've talked about Alec Makarevich, Brandon Butterworth, Garrett Pennington would be the third there. And then the 2 homegrown guys in Jacob Cozart and Eli Serrano. Breaking ball for Lucas, drops in for a strike against Mason Eckelman. And then the pitching, there's a lot lost there too, right? I mean, a Wolfpack legend in a guy like Sam Highfield. And you have the hope that somebody like Dom Fritton can be dominant and head up your pitching staff. It's arguably the best bullpen in the country, but you got to get to that bullpen. On the back end, especially with a guy like Derek Smith, who's currently unavailable or has been in recent games, and Jacob Duden.
They do return a lot on the mound, but to me it's, and again, this is no knock on Alex Sosa. He's a really good player that's going to play this game for a very long time. I think it's about not having a guy like Jacob Cozart back there that is as glaring as maybe one might think. The best catchers are the ones you don't recognize, right? He's just a calm, cool presence behind the dish. It's different throwing to a new dude. And Alex Sosa, fantastic with the leather, big-time arm behind the plate. But to not have a guy like Jake Cozart, who caught every game for 3 years, is also a big difference.
The other way, diving stop at short. DeCrisio pops up and delivers a hard throw to first for the Owls.
DeCrisio and Ellis are playing a game of what you can do, I can do better. Both with bombs and both now with web gems. Full extension, back to the feet, and an absolute cannon cotton of an arm to get out a speedy run.
How about the stretch by McHugh on the back end of that play? Big second out for the Wolfpack if they're going to want to, if they're going to come back in this one in the bottom of the 9th. Jamarusti watches one miss, and his count 1 ball and 1 strike. He reached on an error, was hit by pitch his last time up. In between, retired a couple of times. And get the bunt down. It's strike 2.
Don't you love it, though? Up 5 in the 9th, and a guy that swung it well today. Like, they are going to be who they are, unapologetically. I love it.
Lucas, the 1-2.
By the way, that's a culture play from Alex Sosa. Like, you want to talk about earning the trust of your pitching staff? Hey, boys, throw anything you want. I'm going to keep it in front. He just blocked that baseball almost a foot outside of the left-handed batter's box. Nobody on base, down 5. Love the effort from the sophomore.
2-2. Dribbles foul, so it'll be another 2-2 pitch to Jamarusti here shortly. And again, Jackson Lucas, a strike from ending the side and getting the Wolfpack up to the plate for a comeback effort in the bottom of the 9th. Poked into the air, foul territory. McHugh runs out of room. And it'll be another with 2 strikes.
You know, we've seen Luke Nixon do it today. Getting to broadcast a couple of those NC State games with you last year, Darren. That identity was very similar to what we've seen from Ohio State today. Stick around, stay in the fight, take advantage of mistakes. Luke Nixon was the perfect personification of that, where it's like he's just going to be a bulldog in the plate. We've seen something very similar to the Buckeyes.
Lucas elicits a swing and a miss and retires Jamarusti. So to the bottom of the ninth we go. The Wolfpack need 5 runs to keep this thing going. Bottom 9, game 1 of the 2025 Jacks College Baseball Classic. Nick Copenhaver back out onto the bump for Ohio State to try to close out an upset victory for the Buckeyes. Aiming for the first victory of the head coach Justin Hare era here in Jacksonville.
Fairly fitting, on brand, in theme. Justin Hare heading back to the North Carolina State to find a top 25 victory, where when he was at Campbell, remember the Big South, a CAA team just a season ago, and they were nightmares for any Power 4 team in the midweeks, right? Like, when you look at RPI, like, go ahead and just take a look at the Carolinas. There's no often that you can go play against a mid-major team on a Tuesday, Wednesday. Like, filling your schedule in the Carolinas is terrifying. And that's what Justin Hare was for close to a decade. Playing in Bowie's Creek, like you mentioned, Darren, to come and almost haunt Coach Avent and NC State again for his first career Big Ten win. Very, very fitting.
So Copenhaver's got the bottom of the order of the Wolfpack, beginning with Matt Ossenfort. This would certainly be a statement win for Ohio State, entering a new phase of their program's history. First pitch strike from Copenhaver.
He's unleashed the slider in this outing. It's changed everything. You remember 3 straight at-bats, 3 straight loud barrels, 2 singles, and a line out to left. And Copenhaver, all of a sudden, man, that slider, it could be a turning point in the season for the Vanderbilt redshirt freshman a year ago, and Columbus is happy to have big 3-0.
The 0-2. Lined and foul. Ossenfort keeps the count. You said it earlier, very early. I think it was still in that first of 3 complete innings now for Copenhaver, that you thought we were watching a guy grow right before us. Another one fouled out of play, so it stays 0-2. I mean, look, he has carried that from when you said it to 2+ innings since then of great work.
Just felt like the light switch turned on, right? This was a guy that was a perfect game All-American as an underclassman in high school, right? There's a reason that Tim Corbin and company recruited him to Nashville. 6'4", 215, looks the part. He's a high school senior in 36 innings. He struck out 64, for goodness sakes. That's 2 an inning. Fantastic stuff. It just takes a while, maybe, when you haven't played a whole year. Same story, like he was the guy in high school. Lights turn on, you kind of hit that competitive switch, and today we saw him hit it.
Full count pitch, sent to the opposite field, skied, curling toward foul ground.
Oh.
A diving effort, or a leaping effort, rather, by Jamarusti. And he cleared the short wall.
Back to his feet, but Superman.
Wow.
Folks, that's concrete with a nice pad, but it didn't feel like a whole lot of pad as he goes full extension. You don't think he's trying to get his first-year head coach at W? Sacrifice the body.
He's had a tough assignment today in left field. He's made every play possible. How about this? We've talked a lot about culture and what Justin Hare brings to the table. Did you see 3 teammates immediately sprint out there to check on their guy?
Not just, hey, are you all right? Over the wall. Yep. I'm telling you, the buy-in is real. Like, college baseball is such a fickle beast because we're in a landscape where there's a lot of moving pieces, and you can see turnaround happen really quick. But it's about belief. And I'm telling you, there's not many as respected as Justin Hare. He brings his Campbell staff with him. Why'd they come? Because they believed in him. And to your point, Darren, man, that is really cool. You're right. That culture play. See center, short, and third all checking on their phone, dude.
Pitch number 9 to Matt Ossenfort is ball 4, so he draws a walk to begin things in the bottom of the 9th for the Wolfpack. So now it's Ty Head, who was at the center of the turning point in this outing for Nick Copenhaver. 3 pitches, 3 sliders, 3 strikes. Back into 6th.
Welcome to college baseball for the Winterhead, Florida native. Talked about just a young freshman starting early in his career. His return to the Sunshine State, he's like, can I mix in a fastball too, boys?
Yet to get one here, 2-0.
Another backdoor breaking ball. Head, who's credited as the second best outfielder and 8th best prospect in the entire state of Florida, according to Perfect Game.
This is always really annoying, too, as a guy that struggled at one position. He was also ranked as the 9th best catcher.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, hey, sweet behind the plate and running.
Let me try to get one right.
Awesome. I'm super happy for you. 2024 senior preseason All-American. It's awesome. Darren, you know the program well, too. He played for Team USA, 16U and 17U team, too.
He's a guy that, honestly, NC State feels pretty fortunate to have gotten to campus.
What? That guy, by the way, we just listed all the accolades, kind of like when Tiger Woods approaches the tee box. Like, the guy's got all of them. A decade ago, that guy did not play college baseball. Like, he's playing in the farm system, and it says a lot about where our sport's heading.
After a visit, Copenhaver finds the strike zone to make it 2-1. That's a great point. While we get romantic about the sport of college baseball, we will a lot this weekend, I promise. So just embrace it, embrace yourself. 3 balls, 1 strike, Copenhaver.
4 straight breaking balls to start this at bat.
Misses outside, ball 4. Consecutive walks, and the Wolfpack with 2 aboard.
Kind of quietly, those are the first 2 walks of the outing for Copenhaver.
Yeah.
The endurance of having not thrown in quite some time. And a live game setting starting to wear on him a little bit. Big, heavy sigh as Coach Avent going to make a move to the bench.
Drew Lanfear, a bat that they love. And quite frankly, anytime he's not in the lineup, it's a bit of a surprise. A good bit of depth for NC State. And he's in place of Ryan Jaros in the 9th spot in the order. First and second, no outs. And back out comes Tyler Robinson.
Love the decision from Coach Robinson. Right, hey, this is not only a chance to slow the game down for your young redshirt freshman. Go, hey, great outing. Let's make it better. Let's go close the door. A pair of Buckeyes warming in the pen for a little double barrel action. Is this the end of the line? This is where, hey, this is where I'm so glad that we have our job and not theirs. It's one of 2 trains of thought right now. And it looks like Coach Robinson's going to pull him. It's going to be the end of the day for Copenhagen. Hey, you leave him and you learn a little bit more about him, or do you pull him and go, fantastic outing, confidence leaves high, That'll be the end of the day for Copenhagen, and it is going to be an awesome outing.
He went 3 complete innings and has a couple of base runners that Luke Carroll, the grad transfer from Oklahoma, will inherit. As Carroll tries to close this one out for Ohio State. A chance to pull off the upset of number 12, NC State.
There, you can kind of feel myself fumbling over my words. I really thought they were going to leave him. He's done a great job of inducing the ground ball. Felt like he could go hunt a double play. But it really is like 2 train of thoughts there with like a young kid where are the coaches going to like test him a little bit and go, all right, backs up against the wall. Let's see how he responds. Or is it the other direction of going, he hadn't thrown a long time. Let's get him out of there before it gets bad. He walks 2 guys in a row, starting to lose command of the slider. Coach Hare and Coach Robinson go, hey, let's get him out of there. Make sure spirits stay really high so we can understand how big of a day this really was.
Yeah, I think that's a good call, both on your part and theirs, right? Copenhagen's given you so much over the last 3 innings. Why risk what is potentially going to be a turning point in the guy's career by insisting that he be the one to finish it off, right?
Instead, they'll turn it over to a southpaw. They'll go a little lefty-lefty with the pinch hitter coming in. Grad guy. Played a lot of baseball. You mentioned, though, right? Junior college kid, too. I think you're going to see a healthy, just because Copenhagen was throwing a ton of off speed. Carroll, very similar. You see the arm action, big sweeping breaking ball. Perfect guy to come in when you're hunting a ground ball double play.
First pitch well outside, and a 1-0 to Drew Lanphier. Again outside. Lanphier started 13 games as the designated hitter, 4 as the catcher. Also started a game in left field last year for the Omaha-bound Wolfpack. Just off the mark, 3-1.
Don't want to come unraveled, 3-1, hitter count. Don't want to get too big. Outfield playing in no doubles. Just want to shoot something through the middle.
Called strike on the outside edge, and it's a full count.
A little generous, but that's how good Mason Eckelman has been behind the plate for the Buckeyes today.
Lanphier, 14 runs driven in a season ago for NC State. Takes ball 4, and it loads the base paths. 3 straight walks to get back to the top of the order for NC State.
Dave, you talked about how high on Lanphier they are. It's the hardest thing to do in any sport is to come in and pinch hit. And you saw the patience, not getting too big. Takes his walk, pass along the torch.
So now Luke Nixon, who's seen more pitches than anybody, 30 of them, across 4 plate appearances. Now Carroll, the one struggling to find the strike zone.
And this was kind of, I don't want to say kind of, the reality is this is where they really struggled against Arizona State, was in the depth of that bullpen. Who's going to come in and find outs after the starters? You're now on to your 4th arm of the day. You're looking for just 3 more outs, a 5-run lead. You don't want to necessarily just start throwing the bats at the top of the lineup now eminent. To me, it's a conversation where Carroll fires in a fastball. How big does that home run come in for an insurance play, right? Like, if not, this is the tying run.
Yeah, 100%. 2 strikes on Nixon. Slaps it. Carroll makes the easy play at home plate. It prevents a run from scoring and gets the first out for Ohio State.
A defensive swing from Nixon, one we have not quite seen yet today. Professional hitter that I think is just fooled by a nasty lefty breaking ball. He just trying to foul something off and stay alive. You're saying, hey, well, why not try to turn two there? Ohio State's looking for the first one of the year. Let's just get and secure nice and easy outs.
Justin DeCrisio watches closely as it misses the strike zone 1-0. Hitless aside from that 3-run home run, but stellar defensive plays on the last two he's been retired on. Inside edge. Nice pitch by Carroll to even it up 1-1. There's strike two.
See with both those pitch calls, they're trying to get in on the hands of DeCrisio, where he gets his hands extended, lets the ball travel so deep that he can take a pitch on the outer third and pull on it in a heartbeat.
Breaking ball, wave and a miss. DeCrisio tipped it back into Eckelman's glove, and it's the second out.
Ooh. Hold on to your hands. I know there's a lot of Ohio State fans with some sweaty palms. There's a breaking ball that backs up in the zone. A little bit of a hanger at the top, and it almost catches DeCrisio off balance where he's hit a barrel in every at-bat. Leans all over the ballpark. That's a huge out, number two.
Now it's Alex Sosa. 1 for 4 today, a single in the first. Foul ball makes it 1-1.
Good job by Luke Carroll so far. The trust that's going to instill in this coaching staff. He can come in, bases loaded, nobody out, take on 1, 2, 3 of the number 12 team in the land. Go, all right, I've arrived. Let's go. There's that depth everybody was worried about.
Breaking ball snaps in there. No swing from Sosa. It's 1-2. Carroll with 2 strikes. Got a swing and a miss. And Ohio State gets a big upset victory, their first of the season in the win column, and it comes over number 12, NC State.
The first win of the Justin Hare era at Ohio State officially in his back pocket. Monkey off the back, and the Buckeyes ecstatic about the man leading the way into the future. We've been dancing into outing number 1. The Buckeyes victorious.
A big victory to get us started here in Jacksonville. 8-3, Ohio State takes down number 12, NC State. Plenty more where that came from. We got 5 more games of this joint at the Jacks Classic. For Jack DeLongchamp, I'm Darren Vaught. We'll see you here shortly for Game 2 of the day, Coastal Carolina and Alabama.